Woodstock 99 was a hot, violent, and borderline dystopian concert. It was a gross mutation of the 1969 festival. It was probably the worst experience of my life. In this episode, I'll do my best to recall my experience and detail the awfulness of what happened during these 3 days. This week on Death and Entertainment.
Live from Los Angeles.
911, what is your emergency?
Here in Hollywood now.
2 counts of murder,
Injury and death.
Oh my God!
Shocking new details.
that has stunned the entertainment world.
This makes me a little nervous.
The hair stood up on my arms.
Just like in the movies.
What do you call this thing anyway?
Death.
In entertainment.
Hello, Deados.
Whoa, what happened there?
Holy
Oh my
shit,
God.
is Ann Hayes here? What is going on? Why does that happen?
What was that? What are these clips that you have? Are you going to surprise us with some crazy-ass clips?
Yeah, I guess so. We are still shaking the rust off here in studio. What's going on, everybody? My name is Kyle Plouffe.
My name is Mark Balcarin.
And I'm Alejandro Dowlane.
And boy, do we have an episode for you today.
Do we?
I believe you
no,
have.
we got a Whopper.
Yeah.
all right?
Much anticipated.
A Big Mac even.
Big Mac.
I've
Yes.
been excited for this episode for a year now.
Yeah, we've been talking about this being a possible episode for, well over a year at this point.
I am the one of this trio here that actually has the first-hand experience of being at Woodstock 99.
I remember being very jealous of the people who were able to go.
Well, you should not be, and I'll detail exactly why within this document I
wait.
have here. Yeah, it's bad.
I feel like Kyle would have had a good time.
I was
Kyle
13
would have been
years old.
dead.
Yeah, I probably would have died.
Not like if he was like of the age to go, he would have died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
for sure.
Just from pure excitement of seeing Fred Durst in person alone, that would have killed me.
Oh my God.
I would have been wearing Jinko jeans in the heat for too long.
Yeah.
So
And spontaneously combust.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
You would have tried to take an ATM home with you, and it would have crushed you.
Can I get serious though for a second?
Yes.
Have you ever woke up one morning and just decided it wasn't one of those days and you're going to break some shit? Well, this is one of them days, y'all.
Oh my God.
You feel me, deados?
So let's get it. We got everyone pumped up here now. So now that we do,
Yeah.
let's delve into the pop culture flash of what was going on around this time besides this horrendous concert that ruined my life.
And this episode is taking us all the way back to the weekend of July 22nd, 1999.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we got the pop culture flash, July 22nd, 1999. Alejandro, what were the top 6 albums at that time, sir?
Number 6, Backstreet Boys, I Want It That Way.
Oof.
Yeah.
I don't want it that way.
The album, it was called I Want It That Way too?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, these are singles.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, these are the top 6 singles.
And they were a controversial band in the world of Woodstock 99.
Yes, they were the enemy.
So they are on the charts while
Yes.
this monstrosity is going on.
Well, that's the big back and forth with MTV. That's why they get a lot of hate during this, but we'll dive into that later. What's number 5?
If You Had My Love, Jennifer Lopez, Mark's favorite.
Yeah, I not my favorite, but
In another episode, you said you loved Jennifer Lopez.
I didn't say it was that bad. You guys were like railing on it. I was like, it's not actually that bad of a song.
Number 4, Last Kiss by Pearl Jam.
One of the saddest songs ever created.
Yeah.
This is a
Which-
cover from I think it was made in the 50s or something.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
didn't write it.
No. They perfected it.
Perfected it.
Sure.
Oh, where could my baby be? The Lord took her. Okay, number 3. Genie in a Bottle. Christina Aguilera. She came out of that bottle smoking.
This is before she got dirty.
Hey.
Yes, it is. She was just a clean genie then
Yeah.
in a bottle.
Yeah.
All right, number 2. Bills, Bills, Bills by Destiny's Child.
Yep.
Beyonce.
Before they kicked those other
And
girls. to
2
the-
other girls.
Yeah, whoever. Who cares?
Beat it, losers.
We're not
can't
going to be
pay my
mean,
bills.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a billionaire.
Yeah.
Hello.
you're out.
Meanwhile, they can't pay their bills anymore.
No, they have foreclosure.
They're begging for change in the parking lot of Beyonce concerts.
Bankruptcy.
The number one song at this time, the Wild Wild West. Will Smith, Millennium.
This song
Yeah.
is so embarrassingly bad. And this
The
movie,
movie's embarrassingly bad.
The song's pretty good.
Yeah.
The movies is what you're thinking of.
the guy, I guess John Peters, the guy who Bradley Cooper just played in Licorice Pizza, actually, it was his idea to have the big spider in the movie Wild Wild West.
Yeah, he would not let it go.
He would not let it go.
He wanted the spider in, was it Batman?
It was some other
movie.
Yeah, he won the big spider and everything.
I think the Superman movie that never happened, maybe.
Oh, really?
Is this guy just like he was a producer? Is that what it is?
He was the
Or
guy
an
that
exec?
he was, but he should not have been a producer. I don't really
Yeah.
know what he was a hairdresser who turned into a movie producer. It's true.
He just watches movies. He's like, it's good, but could have used more robotic spider.
And better hair.
And that is quite a robotic spider in it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they went all the way.
But back to the song. I feel like a chump because I later heard
Like a chum, huh? Like a chum, huh?
Stevie Wonder song. And I'm like, hey, that's the Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
Because I was an idiot.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, you thought it was the same one. Like Pearl Jam, Last Kiss.
I thought that Will Smith came up with that.
Yeah.
Him and Cisco.
The manager of the pizza shop I worked at would blare this as we were closing, and he was just getting completely hammered.
Yeah.
And he's like, "This is my favorite song." I was like, "This is awful."
Yeah.
But
Imagine being Cisco at this time. You're like fresh off the thong song. Now you're in like a major Hollywood movie soundtrack, like the number one track from the soundtrack. And you think you're going to have a career forever.
yeah,
And just around the corner, it's over.
He stayed with the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In 2010, I did a comedy show in Oakland at this place called Yoshi's, and Cisco had played there the night before. And I was like, I'm either on the way up or he's on the way down.
yeah. Well, two things
Probably a
could
little
be
bit of
true.
both.
Yeah.
You two are about equal.
Yeah. A closed down sushi restaurant. Yeah, this is making it, baby. On the outskirts of Oakland.
Yeah.
I think that Cisco would have been smart to team up with Ebert after Gene died.
Why? Wait, why?
Cisco and Ebert.
Oh, God.
All right, Kyle.
What's the movie
Oh, wait, no, that was
situation?
I wanted the applause.
Moving on to movie.
It deserved a little bit of both.
Kyle, what were the top movies?
Number 6, Alejandro's favorite movie, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
The Star Wars special editions were the ones I loved.
That's right.
Not this one.
Yeah.
Misa not like that one.
Whoa.
Ooh, little Jar Jar Binks reference here. Drop right in. We're going full 1999 here.
We
ladies and
are.
gentlemen.
Number 5, The Haunting.
Boring.
Is The Haunting?
That's what Owen Wilson's like. Oh, the haunting's here.
And I'm about to get my head knocked off.
I'm going to commit suicide in 15 years.
Oh, my Lord.
Jesus.
What,
That was quite a...
too harsh?
Wow.
Yeah. That was kind of harsh there, Mark.
you went for it.
All
Wow.
right,
Because I didn't actually kill myself.
He attempted, I said.
I didn't hear the word attempt.
Oh, I didn't hear you qualify that.
I love how we're sliding into Lorne Michaels with it now.
Yeah, a little bit.
Number 4, this movie was actually brought up on one of our newest videos on YouTube, Tarzan, which Phil Collins won the, what was it, Oscar for.
Oscar
Yeah,
for
for Best Song.
You'll Be in My Heart.
Yeah, he went fucking ham on that soundtrack.
And Trey Parker and Matt Stone were on acid at the Oscars in competition with him
Yeah.
for their South Park song. And then they announced the winner is Phil Collins.
Yeah. And they said we were expecting to lose, but not to him.
Yeah. Amy Mann would have been cool.
I like how people just unload on Phil Collins. I heard Liam Gallagher from Oasis unloaded on him too in like the 90s. Like, I didn't know what I did to that guy.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so-
I'm a fan
Yeah.
of Phil Collins.
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, it's good.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Number 3, American Pie. I remember vividly seeing this movie in the theaters.
Me too.
Yeah. And being like, this is what movies are about.
I had the same experience.
This is film.
I know what Kyle's talking about. We were like
It was the
13
perfect
years
age.
old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I went to the 9 o'clock show. It was a full house. It was laughter through the whole thing and just giddiness.
Yeah. Some of the biggest reactions I've ever seen were in a movie theater where it was just completely packed. It was American Pie for a comedy and The Ring for a horror movie. It was just like people screaming throughout the whole thing. Number 2, I didn't realize this did that well in the box office. Big Daddy.
The Big Daddy.
Who's your daddy? The number 1 movie in the box office in 1999. In July of 1999, we have already talked about this movie, The Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe that was number 1.
Will Smith did it all. Like he did the record, he did the movie. This is before like he started slapping fucking Chris Rock in the face.
But did he do it for the nookie?
Come
on!
He made the popcorn in the theater.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was a bad joke. All right. He turned down The Matrix to do Wild Wild West.
That's true.
Bad move.
And I heard
very bad move.
he did say the Wachowski brothers pitch was not good. It was
Brothers.
Whoa,
Uh-oh.
hey.
Well,
Wow.
sisters, I'm not trying to dead name
I'm
anyone.
saying, geez.
I thought we were going back in time.
Hey!
Okay, we'll go with that. We'll go with that.
Now Wachowski sisters.
Canceled.
No, but I guess they did not give the best pitch where they were just like explaining like the bullet movements and stuff and like the 360 cameras, but they didn't really talk about the story at all and any of that stuff. But they just, I don't know. I think it may be intimidating to be around Will Smith.
Well, he probably had the producer sitting behind him just whispering, going, they don't got the spider.
Yeah, John Peters.
Yeah, he's in other pitches too with Will Smith.
Great pitch. No spider.
No spider, yeah. The Wachowski sisters were probably like, why are you bringing like other studio heads into this pitch?
All right, kids. I think we have our tickets to Woodstock.
To a nightmare.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
$150 and you're in, motherfuckers.
Let's go!
Okay, so I'm gonna start this off with my story, guys.
Yes, because Mark was there in the flesh.
Let me introduce you to my Woodstock, okay? Yeah, I remember I was working at a pizza shop that I referenced before where the owner was a weird guy. I'll get into that a little more here. But yeah, I was working at this Greek pizza shop. And then I remember going to a friend's house after my shift one night. And they were like, everyone's all hanging out. They're like, hey, we're getting tickets to Woodstock 99 tonight. Are you in or are you out? I just had a bunch of like tips and cash from like delivering pizzas.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I was like, yeah, of course I'm going, motherfucker.
Yeah.
So let's do it.
You don't even need to ask.
No. It was just like, I was kind of buzzed and I was like, you know, I got to do this.
You were going for the experience because did you actually listen to the bands that were...
No, I only listened to the Nookie, actually. I think the Nookie is the only thing I listened to. Like Korn and any of these bands, I was like, I don't even know what Korn is. They sound like they should be on Ozfest. This entire lineup, I'm like, this might be a little not for me. But then I saw Dave Matthews, who I was actually into at that time.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
There had to have been bands you were into because there were a lot.
Sheryl Crow.
A lot of, yeah.
I don't know. It was like DMX, who I had just saw on the Def Jam tour in the Boston Garden, which I thought was amazing. Yeah. He did an amazing live show.
I can't picture you at any of these concerts.
I know, right?
Me neither. Def Jam. What are you doing going to Def Jam?
Yeah. I never initiate the concert. If friends are going and they ask me to go, I'll go.
Yeah.
I don't like initiate going to Tom Petty. Like I've been to a Tom Petty concert. I'm not going to buy 10 tickets like not knowing if anyone's coming or not.
Yeah.
So, like friends do that. I don't really do that too much. But
he's too good to plan anything.
Yeah. I feel like that's it's the less aggressive way of saying I didn't start the fight, but I finished the fight.
Pretty much, yeah. Well, I did not
start the plans.
I didn't finish the Woodstock 99 at all, and I'll go into that in a little bit here. But yeah, I didn't know what this weekend was going to be at all. I just thought it was going to be more of a laid-back concert vibe in the summer. Camping, drinking, having a good time with some buds.
Hot fun in the summertime.
Hell yeah.
But yeah.
Living's easy.
It turned out to be the most uncomfortable, disgusting, weird experience of my entire life.
I haven't heard that take before.
Yeah, I know. No, I know. I just felt uncomfortable the entire time for many reasons.
Yeah.
And you have a penis.
Yes. No, thank you. Exactly. And I could imagine what the women felt like there.
Oh my God.
We had one buddy who actually brought his girlfriend there. And I was just like, and they did not spend a lot of time hanging out outside of our camp area, to be honest. Yeah.
Smart move.
In 1999, so people picture today, you just hop online, you go on like StubHub or you go on Ticketmaster, you get the tickets. How did you guys get the tickets?
That's a good question. I think my friend was online at that time and he did buy
okay.
them online.
Yeah.
There were 150 if you bought them before the concert, and I think 180 at the door if you were like nuts.
wow.
And you just decided to drive up there and just buy them at the door. And then a lot of people, I think, just snuck in and stuff.
Yeah.
Not that many, though, compared to the previous Woodstock.
No, yeah, the previous two. Before I go into all that stuff, I want to give a little history on the Woodstock, the various years that they had done it.
So we're going to return to Mark.
We will absolutely.
Okay.
Well, I'll pepper Mark into this entire
Right.
kind of detail of Woodstock
Beautiful.
99. Beautiful. So 1969, it was originally billed as the Woodstock Music Festival, an Aquarian experience.
August 15th, my birthday.
Really? That was the original
1969,
one, yeah.
yes.
You say everything is
Because
on your
everything
birthday.
always happens on my birthday.
It was called 3 Days of Peace and Music. It's so funny how that got a little warped later on,
Yeah.
but we'll talk about that in
Yeah.
a bit. This wasn't the first like big rock festival that happened in the country. Like there had been other smaller ones that had been happening around there. I think Newport Folk Festival might have inspired just the rock fest in general. I don't know like the entire history of how rock festivals really started, but by the time Woodstock 99 happened, they were just like huge corporate productions at this point.
They were sprouting up by the end of the 60s. You had Monterey Pop. You
Yeah.
had a bunch of historic.
You had the
Events.
disaster that the Rolling Stones tried to put on where the
Altamont.
Hells Angels like killed
Altamont.
people.
Yeah. Some people said that was actually they designated the end of the 60s.
Yeah.
when that happened. There's
Yeah,
been
that
a
and the
couple
Tate murders.
markers where,
Yeah.
But they called it Woodstock because Woodstock is where all these hippies from New York kind of moved to. Like Bob Dylan moved there also. I think a couple years before, that's where Bob Dylan had that horrible motorcycle accident where you didn't see him for like 10 years. And he didn't even perform at Woodstock because he was still in that weird like post-accident Bob Dylan headspace or something where he's like hiding from the world. And then I think he came out as a Christian later on when he did Blood on the Tracks like 10 years later or something. No, like 4 years later, I want to say.
And am I right that they wanted to have it in Woodstock, actually?
They did, yeah, but they couldn't find a good location. You mean the 69 concert, right?
Yeah, like it wasn't actually in Woodstock.
Yeah, it wasn't. They couldn't find like a good big enough farm that had logistically allowed people to kind of get in and out of the highway. And even though Woodstock in 69 didn't really work out because there was like traffic way back like 100 miles or something with people just stuck in their cars.
Crossing state lines.
Yeah, like stuff like that. People were just like, that was the big problem. They had to helicopter all the acts in. But this Woodstock 69, they make it seem like a utopian experience where everything was perfect.
Yeah.
That wasn't the case at all. Like
That's the mythology.
Yeah, that's
that
the mythology.
We've been fed since the movie.
It was perfect, and it was my generation that ruined it, and we're bad because we suck. And then they did everything perfectly.
Yeah.
But there was
I'm glad you're taking responsibility for it.
Yeah. But during that concert, there was an instance in which they almost killed like 50,000 people. There was a bunch of wires that were in the ground, and they noticed that with all the rain and stuff, it was starting to wear all the ground out. So it was like there was exposed wire, and at some point, like a hippie could have hit it the wrong way and fucking electrified the entire front of that concert.
Yeah.
So they wanted to the sound people and electric people. They wanted to shut off the power and go like 20 minutes, move the wires around, and it would have taken a lot of time. It would have been a pain in the ass. Michael Lang, this is a guy, I'll go into him right now. Why not? He's a guy that basically conned 3 of his friends into doing this festival. He had
the Willy Wonka of
He's the Willy Wonka of Woodstock.
Concerts.
Yeah. His friends were John Roberts, Joel Roseman, and Artie Cornfield. Michael Lang being like the Pied Piper or the Willy Wonka, if you will.
Yeah.
Woodstock Willy Wonka.
Because he's like a youthful guy
Yeah.
and never showed any signs of distress through every tumultuous event that happened.
He'd ride this motorcycle around with like a vest on, no t-shirt underneath or anything, and just be like, "Hey man, it's all good here, man." And like, even though his call was to not turn off the power and to leave these people exposed to these wires and stuff.
Really?
He denies that to the day he died this past January. He denied that because like 3 of the other promoters, like, countless other people said that he put all these people in danger by not shutting off the power.
Wow.
And he said they did shut off the power, but he's a liar.
So all this footage of people just like dancing on the fucking in the middle of the rain and stuff, it could have not been them actually dancing like that, and they're just eating volts of electricity.
Yeah.
You could have just seen their skeletons as they're being like fucking shook to death.
And actually, the Grateful Dead, who are not in the famous documentary, they did get electrocuted.
Oh, really?
Stage. Obviously, it wasn't fatal, but there were a lot of things that happened at this Woodstock.
They
just not part of the lore.
Not part of the lore, but they ran all these festivals on luck. Wow. And I think eventually luck like this runs out. And so, like, I think the first 2 Woodstock festivals, they just got very lucky.
Yeah.
That things didn't happen because they have a very lax way of doing things that's not safe.
Michael Lang, it's an understatement to call him chill. He was never worried about anything. He was like Alfred E. Newman from Mad Magazine.
Yeah.
What, me worry?
No matter what happened, he's like, "Oh, it's okay. It's all good. It'll work out."
He had all these like persuasion skills though. I don't know how he knows how to sell and make people feel like, he's correct and they should do what he's saying. Because 2 of these guys that he produced it with, they were like Harvard guys that came out of school with like millions of dollars. And they probably had like money from their family and stuff.
Yeah.
And they wanted to create a studio in Woodstock to like record all these acts and like really charge Bob Dylan probably like $1 million to like do a long recording session. But Michael Lang was like, okay, we'll do this. We'll do a big festival in Woodstock. We'll call it Woodstock. It's going to be the biggest thing in the world. And then we'll use the proceeds from that to make this studio. And they're like, "Oh, okay, that sounds all right." He didn't want to make that studio at all. He didn't care about it. Wow. He just knew they were just going to put on this big fucking thing. And he just got his way and he talked them into it, basically.
Yeah, he's probably on the spectrum of like sociopath type. Yeah.
Yeah, cult leader or something like that.
I think so. And you'll get into this later, but especially with the way he reacted to Woodstock 99.
Well, yeah, he's definitely not riding the motorcycle around anywhere near the crowds of that because they would have fucking chewed him up and spat him out. Yeah.
Yeah. You would have been the first to throw a can at his head.
They would have threw him on stage when fucking Red Hot Chili Peppers were up there.
Another catastrophe I read about for the original Woodstock is that there was a group that called themselves the Up Against the Wall motherfuckers.
There was, yeah. I do have that here.
All
yeah,
right, let's hear.
Well, what happened was they started charging hot dogs at like 69 cents per hot dog.
Was that like a joke?
No,
69 the year.
I don't. Yeah, that's a good question.
Or the position.
I think that was just nice. Speaking of cooking with gasoline,
1960 nice.
1960 nice. But yeah, these guys they got pissed off by them charging a little bit more for a hot dog. If you could imagine them at the Woodstock 99, they would have fucking thrown an atomic bomb on the fucking
Where were
place.
they?
Like cutting people's heads off.
Yeah.
You needed them there. I mean, come on.
The up against the wall motherfuckers. Yeah,
Gives a shit about the hot dogs.
Yeah, no
How about drinking water?
yeah, they started a big riot though.
Like
They
vendors,
burned like
right?
eight of like the 36 vendors or something. Like a substantial portion of vendors they burned down. These up against the wall motherfuckers.
I didn't know that.
That should be like a new group in the United States, Up Against the Wall motherfuckers. I love that name.
Okay, let's
Yeah,
jot
they
that
stormed
down.
the Capitol on January 6th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll talk about that later too.
Oh boy, we're going all the way to January 6th.
What don't we have in here?
Getting into everything. today.
Hello.
But yeah, I think Michael Lang is a huge villain in this entire thing.
He's a villain.
I think he's kind of a
Officially.
villain. Yes.
Shit list.
He's
shitless. Yes.
Scar. If we're the Lion King.
Yes. I was wondering where you're going there, but yes, I'm on board with what you just said.
He is Hook if we're talking Peter Pan.
Yeah.
Or Hook.
Or
the movie.
Freddy Krueger if we're talking a different movie.
Yeah. Well, I think
Villain.
his big thing is he just uses everyone's money and uses everyone to get his own way. And I think that's kind of a shitty thing happened. But either way, the festival did happen. It became a landmark of history. And so you got to weigh those two things.
Devil's advocate, he put it on. It was his idea. He came up with the name, and it's a classic festival.
I was going to say, can you really call him a con man if he was successful?
Well, yeah, of course. What are you talking about? Hitler was a con man. He was successful.
Trump is a con man.
Yeah, Trump, exactly.
So is Biden.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, I feel like he put on a legal show and he did it and made some money. He didn't spend a dime.
He had done one before.
Not his dime.
Never his
The
dime.
Harvard guy's dime.
Yeah. These poor schmucks that fucking just shell.
Did they make money on it?
They made nothing. They
But they didn't lose.
They didn't lose. No.
Okay.
But he had done another festival like this in Miami called the Underground Festival, which drew around like 25,000 people. Had Jimi Hendrix, Frank Zappa, and Johnny Lee Hooker. So yeah, he had some experience in doing this, and I could tell this is like the only thing he really knew how to do. He didn't even graduate high school, I don't think. He had like started smoking weed at like 14 years old. He's kind of a fuck up. He grew up in like the Bronx or something, and
he was probably twisting cats' heads off and stuff.
Yeah,
that sounds like a piece of shit.
That's quite a leap you made there.
That's what sociopaths do.
Yeah.
But they're all like, they're either complete shut-in lunatics or they're like super attractive type people who get people to do shit for them.
Yeah. And with Woodstock, it's so huge. That's pretty much enough for him for the rest of his life. Yes. That's his thing that he, organized Woodstock. Because when the movie came out in 1970, this is hard to imagine these days, but that documentary was in theaters. And it was a huge box office sensation.
I think that's what he made the most of his money on.
And Michael Lang is the most memorable person in the movie.
Of course. Yeah, Artie Cornfield or any of those other guys.
Nothing.
They're like, they're not even outside. They're like inside, a fucking tent somewhere.
So right there, that's the mythology and that's his legend. That movie cements it. Edited by Scorsese, by the way.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I didn't know that. Great movie, actually. The Santana portion of it is, I still watch that all the time because it's so good.
It's the best concert movie.
There's good shots of like the audience and stuff, or just like, slice of life, what's going on out there. And the performances are shot so well.
Yeah, the famous split screen.
The split screen, yeah. It was like you could just drop acid and just watch it for like 3 hours and just have a good time.
And how many actual live performances that are captured are as iconic as something like Joe Cocker singing With a Little Help from My Friends?
That's what John Belushi did at making fun of it.
I think you're forgetting about the Glee musical.
Oh, the concert
documentary film.
Oh, what?
And Woodstock wasn't in 3D.
Yeah, that's right.
So take that.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say Limp Bizkit.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Like there was security there, but like it wasn't like a heavy security presence at none of them. There's never a heavy security presence. That's kind of their thing.
Yeah.
I think they think the peace and love and like, the peace sign is gonna make people mellow out and like behave themselves. That's not how you run a fucking concert.
Take care of your brothers and sisters.
Yeah. But like there was still some assaults, the back against the wall motherfuckers. There was some sexual assaults at Woodstock 69 also.
Yeah.
They just weren't reported that much. It was just not a lot of report. It was like more, I don't know. It was women just didn't do it that much. Unfortunately, it's just a shitty thing that happened. But
And how was the acid there?
the acid, I think it was Michael that actually had to get on the microphone and say, "Don't do the brown acid. It's not good, man."
What?
Yeah. Well,
Oh my God.
that
I
was
haven't
like
seen the film.
That was a joke they made fun of in Wayne's World too.
Oh, fuck.
Like, don't do the red rope licorice, man. Like that's
Holy
what
shit,
Garth
that went
was
over my
saying.
head. Yeah.
Of course, you probably laughing your ass off still.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're like, that's funny.
That is funny.
What does it mean?
These guys are good.
Yeah. I'm sorry, it was 35 cents for a hot dog. I was incorrect.
See, I knew 69 sounded weird.
Yeah. But 35 cents for a hot dog.
That's a good deal.
That's a good deal.
At Costco, it's like $1.50 and everyone goes nuts over that.
Yeah.
Anyway, also 2 people did die at Woodstock 69.
Okay, who?
One guy died of an OD, Another was killed in his sleeping bag when a tractor hit him after the concert.
What?
So he was still like living in the field.
That's horrific. People had to witness that?
No, well, the guy on the tractor did. There was no one else there. The concert was long over.
Oh, this is like Monday or Tuesday?
So, yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. I
6
thought it was
months later.
Yeah, I thought it was during Jimi Hendrix or something.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the screenwriter from Gone with the Wind, remember? The Oscars episode? He didn't get to accept his Oscar because he was run over by a tractor.
Oh my god.
Really?
You were there for that episode?
Well, was I, though, mentally?
All right, who cares?
So 1994. Let's move on to this now. I didn't really want to get into this one because it was kind of like a non-factor. It was like pretty much a positive event. Green Day, Nine Inch Nails, Blind Melon.
Green Day exploded with this one. That was their
big thing. Yeah, because they went down and they got muddy and stuff. And like
They were the memorable act.
Yeah.
They stormed off stage.
No, you're thinking of the
Yeah.
iHeartRadio festival 20 years later where he was drunk.
You're saying they stormed up because people were throwing shit at
They were
them?
throwing mud and stuff at them, and they were like, "If you throw any fucking more mud up here, we're leaving." And then they got off stage, and some guy jumped on stage and tried to tackle the bassist.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But it is
And it was so rainy, and
considered-
people were falling around and shit, trying to stop the guy from attacking the band.
Am I right, though, that it is considered
Oh, yeah, it was
great
huge.
performance and really launched their
Yeah.
career?
But overall, it seemed like, besides that, it seemed like a pretty chill event.
Well, it rained and there was mud. That was the big
Yeah, there was a lot of mud and actual mud. And like the 69 one, people kind of made hay out of it and like had a good time in the mud. But
And there was a lot of hay around as well.
three people did die at this Woodstock, though.
94?
94.
Jeez.
Yeah.
What?
It's the magic number.
I only have the details on 2 of them.
Green Day threw rocks at them.
Probably, yeah. They probably had an assassin take them out or something. An unidentified 45-year-old person died on Saturday. Suspected diabetes complications was the reason
My
there.
God.
And then on Sunday, 20-year-old Edward Chatfield died of a ruptured spleen. Probably from like just getting fucked up in the mosh pit and stuff.
Wow.
That's got to be some way to go. And the third one?
Like I said, I have no information
okay.
on that one. So.
Where was Woodstock 94? Because it wasn't at the original site, correct?
No, I think this one was in Rome also, I believe.
No, I believe they were all at different places.
Winston Farm, west of Socrates, New York.
Yeah.
Okay.
50 miles away from the original site.
Because that always blows my mind that they can't get it together and just, why not go to the same spot they already went to?
Yeah, I think
There's so much politics involved.
well, politics, and also they have to pay the local municipality. It's all about the deal they can get. So when
they got a good deal
when
there.
they went to Rome finally, they got a deal of a lifetime because they had this kind of empty former military base. But I'll get to that in a little bit before I wrap up 94. Bob Dylan did play. Ooh. Yeah, Woodstock 94, man.
Times are changing.
Praise Jesus.
Yeah. And here she comes.
Here I come.
Yeah.
Woo! Check out this mud.
Any impersonation? Yeah, he's really into the mud. Yeah, the mud, man.
He's trying to upstage Green Day.
Yeah. But yeah, he did an all rock oriented electric set, and
He's like, dude looks like a lady.
yeah, he's singing Aerosmith covers.
Just ripping off everybody else's music.
They were there too, weren't they? Aerosmith?
I think they were. I didn't even
would've
care.
Loved Woodstock 94.
Really?
Oh, are you kidding?
Johnny Cash was asked to play, but he declined when he found out he wasn't going to be on the main stage.
That I get. You
I
gotta
don't know.
put Johnny Cash on
But
the
you're
main
going to say,
stage.
oh, yeah, we're going to put Blues Traveler and Cypress Hill in front of you on the main stage and not you, Mr. Cash, you fucking legend?
Exactly. I wouldn't have played it either if I were Mr. Cash.
Oh, okay. I thought
That's
you were,
what I'm saying.
I thought you were standing with the Woodstock 94 promoters.
Not at all.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's easy to say with hindsight, but
Yeah.
come on, it's Johnny Cash. And he had just started doing those Rick Rubin albums at that time.
Yes.
He was starting the later part of his career,
which was good.
resurgence.
That remake of wait, what did he do?
Hurt came years later,
yeah,
but
yeah.
that's the same series of albums he did. The American recordings.
94 had an amazing lineup.
What are some of the ones that stick out to you?
Blues Traveler, Violent Femmes, Collective Soul, Nine Inch Nails, Metallica, Aerosmith, Henry Rollins, Crosby, Stills and Nash, Blind Melon, Cypress Hill, The Cranberries, Salt and Pepper, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Spin Doctors, Porno for Pyros.
This is really 90s.
Green
Very
Day,
90s. What do you think?
The Neville Brothers,
Why is that?
Santana, and Peter Gabriel. A lot of great bands in there.
And the other gimmick, too, is that it was somewhat similar to the original Woodstock lineup.
Yeah.
Plus the new.
I think that was the big difference I brought up here. Like, they peppered in a lot of like the people that originally had that kind of mindset of the 60s mentality of like, be cool to your fellow man, and like, you know, be chill and peace and all that shit. So they had enough of that.
And all that horse shit.
They had all that going on.
And all that horse pucky.
Well, they also had Nine Inch Nails and Metallica, but they got drowned out by the more peaceful
Sheryl
acts.
Crow was in this one too.
Yeah. She was in the original too.
Yeah, she's the only one.
Crosby, Stills, Nash, of course.
Yeah, they were there too. Yeah.
A big hit at the original.
But yeah, they
Really or no?
No, they were.
Oh, okay.
for Woodstock '94, they sold 135,000 tickets, but 350,000 people were there.
So that's more than half.
Interesting math.
135,000 people paid, but there was around 350K people there. That they judged from like, so like a lot, they broke down the
They
gates.
didn't have a gate. Yeah.
They broke down the gates like early, and like a lot of people snuck in and shit, which was par for the course. That's what they did like on day 2 or something of the original.
Oh, the
festival.
original, that definitely happened.
No one paid shit. Yeah. Again, Michael Lang and his crew made no money on this.
They didn't.
No.
Again. Which
That's his story, though.
sets the stage for the next one where they do want to make money.
Yeah. So this brings us to Woodstock, 1999.
And they had decided in 94 that they wanted to do it every 5 years.
So that kind of is 5 years later.
That promoter, that
Yeah.
John Scher guy,
Yeah.
he's a piece of work.
Oh my God, he's on the shit list. I have a whole chunk. on
He
that
and
piece of
Michael
garbage.
Lang were talking. They're like, yeah, let's do this every 5 years and give every generation their Woodstock.
Yeah.
So that's why it was in 99.
Exactly. So this is my story, how I got up to Woodstock 99.
And he's sticking to it.
I'm sticking to this. I actually remember that pizza shop manager that I talked about before.
Greek guy.
He was a piece of shit, but piece of work, I'll say.
Who wasn't a piece of shit at Woodstock 99?
And
Or in
everyone-
Massachusetts.
Exactly, yeah. You couldn't find him.
And that's the worst combo. Someone from Massachusetts going to Woodstock 99.
Yeah.
I actually forgot to give my boss notice that I was going to be going to Woodstock 99. So
See you later, loser.
So I couldn't exactly get out on that Thursday. So my friends were like, "Yeah, we want to drive up, relatively early on Thursday, so we get up,
Get a spot.
Yeah, and also there's some like some smaller acts were playing on Thursday night too, and a lot of people just getting there, getting a good spot. They wanted to like get settled there.
Yeah.
String cheese incident.
Yes, they
Played
did play.
Thursday.
Yeah, and some other Jay and the Silent Sauce or some
Jay and Silent Bob.
no. It's some other band.
G Love and Special Sauce.
G Love and
Yeah.
Special Sauce. They did play that.
I would have seen all those Thursday bands.
Yeah. But
And then left.
But I couldn't because I did not have a ride. And my friends had already left, and I had to go to this stupid fucking job that
So you're working at the pizza shop while your friends are driving up to Woodstock?
I was like, in retrospect, I'm like, why didn't I just quit the fucking job
Yeah, for real.
and just say, too bad, buddy, it's delivering pizzas.
Yeah.
That's how every teen movie starts. They quit their job at the pizzeria to go on the road trip.
Yeah. But I'm the one that stays at the job.
What a miserable day that must have been.
It was awful. You know what I did instead? I had my mom drop me off at South Station in Boston. And I took a fucking bus all the way up to Rome, New York. From Boston.
When though?
But that night.
Friday.
Oh, on Thursday night.
On Thursday night.
After your shift.
After my shift. So I left at like 10 p.m. So I get up to like Rome, New York at like 2, 3 a.m. or something like that.
That's like a 5.5 hour drive?
Something like that. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
fucking long as shit.
And you found your friends?
It took me fucking out. The sun was coming up. By the time I walked, like they gave me this map and a way to find them. But by the time I got there, like the entire site was all different. It was like a whole different place.
The map is just Michael Lang giving you the finger.
Yeah, it might as well have been. And
Boston to Rome, New York is 275.8 miles, 4.5 hour drive.
Did you sleep on the bus?
That's with no traffic.
No, I couldn't even. I can't sleep. I cannot sleep on buses and planes.
So you're showing up to Woodstock 99 in the wee hours of the morning
Yes.
on no sleep.
Yes.
That's how you start.
That's how I started out.
Weekend.
Yeah.
Did you at least sneak any booze onto the bus?
I probably could have, but I didn't.
Yeah.
My friends, though, they brought in like tons and tons of Evian bottles full of vodka.
Oh, you were probably just cursing their names, thinking of how much fun they were having without you while you were sitting on the bus by yourself.
I walk around the place like 100 times yelling out their names. And then I finally, once the sun's coming up, it's fucking late as shit.
Ugh.
One of my friends goes, "Yo, Mark," and I was like, "Thank God," because
fucking miserable.
I thought I was going to be there the entire weekend without even finding them.
How did you
There was
find
no
them?
cell phones.
I was gonna say this is a time there's no cell phones.
No fucking cell phones.
Really, how did you find them?
Did
they tell you where they were going to be or something?
Yes, but by the time I got there, it's dark. And I can't see any of the signs that they're or like landmarks that they're telling me. And by the time I get there, it's all changed. It's all like filled out with everyone. So I just don't even know what the fuck. Like,
so how was it hours that you were walking around?
Hours.
Oh.
So I finally started
What
yelling.
a miserable start to this trip.
I have one friend.
And that was probably the best part of the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was looking back at that like, "Man,
downhill.
Those are the days back then. Yeah.
Didn't know how good I had it.
Yeah. Walking around aimlessly.
There's a slow motion montage at the end of the weekend of his good memories, and it's just him walking around Friday morning.
Pissed.
But I was thinking, my new technique, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. I have one friend who has a kind of unique name, which in retrospect is not really unique at all. It's Trevor.
Bob!
No, but
Trevor!
But eventually one of my friends was still awake, thank God, and yelled at me in the middle of one of the fucking campsites, way in the middle.
How far away do you think?
Maybe like 50 feet into the campsite.
Yeah.
So I had to like travel all the way over there and with all my shit. Yeah. And I'm like, thank God. But I was like relieved as fuck.
What was all your shit?
It was, I just...
One of those like European backpacks?
Yeah, it was a fanny pack. No, I just had like...
No, I mean like, you know how you go backpacking through Europe?
No, I didn't have anything like that. No, I just had like a side bag or something. What am I going to need?
You just brought a hammer.
I'm here to break stuff.
We'll put it together. What do you want? I can do it all.
I can build something or break something. You pick.
So yeah, I was like, fuck, like I'm here. I drank a bunch of vodka that they had brought, and I was just like, I was partying, but like not that long because we all passed out eventually, like, pretty soon after I got there.
That one exact moment where Trevor yells at you from 50 feet away, and you recognize that is the people. Those are the people you need to be with. It never gets better than that moment the rest of the way. That's the peak of the entire
peak. Yeah.
weekend. You're like, oh God, this is gonna be great. Everything's downhill from here.
More or less, yeah. You're not wrong by saying that. While I'm walking around there, I'm starting to notice though, like, there's some weird people at this fucking festival. You know, like already. There's one person that it looks like they tried to pitch their tent and then they just jumped backwards onto it because it wasn't working, and they were dead passed out on that.
On their tent.
On the tent. On top of it.
Hey buddy, you're supposed to be in it.
I'm like, oh boy, this is gonna be quite the time here. But
you don't get the concept.
Yeah. I started noticing like, oh yeah, but the bands that they selected for this festival are probably bringing around a lot of the element that I'm seeing here. Like I started noticing people that look like, what's the guy's name on Breaking Bad?
Oh, Jesse Pinkman?
No, the guy's uncle in that you know, that racist kind of neo-Nazi group.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It was like guys like that were at this event, basically.
Like Jesse Plemons.
Jesse Plemons is uncle, whatever that guy's name was. Yeah.
Well, and Jesse Plemons.
And Jesse Plemons also. Yeah. Even the quiet kind of weird elements of people like that. I was wondering though, like in retrospect, like the Venn diagram of like Woodstock 99 attendees to the January 6 attendees. And I bet you a lot of them could have been there.
It's the same circle.
It's yeah. One big circle.
Yeah.
Davy Crockett hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
American flags.
I don't know, but they just seem like bad dudes with like bad intentions.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't.
Dudes with bad attitudes.
Yeah.
There really wasn't any symbolism though at Woodstock 99.
Well, you got to remember, young pop culture at this time, like even wrestling, WWF was geared towards people who were like teens and early adults, where this was like the D-Generation X era. So everyone's running around saying, suck it, suck it, suck
Yeah.
it.
A
And
bunch
like,
of Goldberg fans at this festival.
Eminem's huge. I feel like it was just a good time to be rude.
But I heard though, in one of these
In history.
one of these podcasts or documentaries I listened to, that there was one guy that was on the organizing committee for Woodstock 99, a younger kid who was like 22. He put his hand up and was like, you can't put all these bands on this festival of 500,000 people attending. It's going to be a fucking disaster.
They're going to lose their minds, man.
Yeah. No, and his pleas were totally drowned out.
Yeah, because they wanted to make money this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they went with what is popular. The only strange part though is they really ignored R&B and pop.
Yeah.
That was
No salt and
popular.
pepper, but except for James Brown, he's old school R&B. He was the first act.
He's great.
I still can't believe he was there.
Almost not going on.
Well, yeah. Well, do you want to detail that?
Yeah, so he had only gotten paid half his money before the show started, and his manager at the time was calling the people who were running Woodstock and being like, hey, you got to pay him the money now, like right now, or else he's not going up on stage.
John Scher.
Yeah.
They were on the phone with. The promoter.
And he was doing most of the legwork of this fest because Michael Lang doing God knows what at this time.
Yeah. He's like, but James is already here. He's backstage. And he's like, I promise you, James is not going on unless you pay him the money right now. He's waiting for you to pay the money now.
But James Brown tried to make some power play where he tried to get more money out of him. For
and-
what, though? I don't know.
Well, they didn't pay him in full yet. So now they're asking for more money.
Oh, okay.
And so they're going through this back and forth, and James Brown's waiting to go on stage. He's literally right behind
Everyone's
the curtain.
waiting. Yeah, they're
And-
waiting to get this festival kicked off.
Yeah, people are going crazy. And I think the last thing he said he did was he held the phone up to people cheering to James Brown just walking on stage because he just was like, fuck it, let's just do this show.
Dun, 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 dun. Get out up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a clip of one of the early acts. I think now is a good time to bring it out.
Let's do it.
Where's your credentials? Right here.
Andy Dick. Oh my God, he literally took his dick out.
We just saw Andy's dick.
Andy's
Fuck it. It doesn't.
What day was this
I
on?
don't know what they're paying.
Friday.
for.
This is one of the first
It's like-
things.
yeah.
Oh, wait.
Oh, and he does a wonderful song here that you'll hear a little bit of. And he doesn't even know when to jump in.
So, Mark, you didn't see Andy Dick?
No, I didn't see this.
Man, that chick was out of sight. I took her home, and what did I find? Her dick was bigger than mine. I'll fuck anything that moves. I'll fuck anything that moves.
Jesus.
I'll fuck anything that moves. Anything that moves, I'll fuck. And
Oh,
suck,
God, a girl just
and fuck,
showed her
and
boobs,
suck,
and there was a
and
guy
fuck,
grabbing
fuck,
her.
fuck.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. Unfortunately, it's really shitty. But
I'm surprised Andy
Wow.
Dick didn't cause a riot.
I don't know what
for how
time.
horrible it was.
I don't know what time he started this, but I remember waking up on that Friday morning just feeling like absolute shit.
Oh, I
and I
believe
think if I did, I felt like the heat was already starting to like really boil up. And I think if I saw that right there, I would have lost my fucking mind.
Things would have been set on fire much earlier.
yeah.
To use a 90s reference, you would have gone postal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have. But yeah, I remember that Friday morning, just like, Jesus Christ, what did I do? Why did I take that bus up here? Can I get it back?
Can I get back to the pizzeria?
Yeah, you know things are bad when you want to go to work.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I was just getting my bearings still during that day. And I think I didn't make it to Sheryl Crow, who played on Friday. I definitely missed James Brown. I think the first thing I saw there was the end of DMX, actually.
Oh.
And then the beginning of Offspring.
DMX, that is notable because he did a sing-along saying
He did say a lot of slurs,
N-words.
and a couple too many people in that audience
Felt very comfortable saying it.
felt very comfortable saying
and
it.
someone pointed out in the HBO doc, Wesley Morris, I believe, from the New York Times,
Yeah.
he says, This is DMX doing the sing-along with the N-word, and it's a crowd of all white frat guys, basically.
It's so inappropriate.
So how often did that actually happen at the time where a rapper on that level was performing in a purely white environment?
Well, when I saw him in Boston, I wasn't saying that because I was with some African-American people, but I wouldn't be saying that anyway. But like, I don't...
Let the record show.
Let the record show, yeah?
And I didn't light nothing on fire.
No. And I don't remember that Boston show being like anything like that. Woodstock 99 was its own thing.
Yeah.
Like, it was very white. It was like 1,000 frats happening at the same time in front of that stage.
Was DMX messing with us?
By doing that, you think it was a bit?
Well, it's crazy that he did that.
No, he was into it.
He needed a reaction from the audience whenever he did any show.
Yeah, but it's not Sheryl Crow like, hey, sing to Every Day's a Winding Road.
Well, yeah, if she was throwing the N-word out there, then that would be different.
Wait, does she have a song with that in it? That would just be out of left field.
Every day's a winding N-word.
You know.
Okay.
Have him sing something else. That's what I'm saying.
Why would she choose today to make the song that different?
And speaking of the boobs you saw during Andy Dick's performance just now,
Yeah.
Sheryl Crow was dealing with a lot of that. They were saying, take off your top.
Yeah,
Yeah.
take your shirt off, dump them out.
Well, I did have that somewhere in here, in which we're still dealing with the Girls Gone Wild type of atmosphere of any public event.
Yes.
Any MTV thing you go to, anything like that. They even had, that was basically the theme of their pay-per-view of this, Show Us Your Tits.
That's exactly what the pay-per-view camera operators were told. Go find the naked women.
It was basically dudes with trucker hats like Ashton Kutcher and going out there and trying to get girls to, take their tops off and stuff. And I remember going to Cancun a year later, same thing, it was the same vibe going around there. And I think it was already baked into the culture from, you might know this. Remember Whip 'em Out Wednesdays from WAEF from Opie and Anthony?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that was a thing, Whip 'em Out Wednesdays, get girls to, do whatever.
Yeah.
It was normalized.
It was in the 90s, especially the late 90s for sure. Howard was part of that also.
Yeah,
Howard Stern.
exactly.
Howard Stern, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
No one can deny that.
But yeah, all the Limp Bizkit stuff, that stuff, girls were just getting groped. It was just, you should see these guys. They were just disgusting.
it's horrible.
Yeah, they're animals. But I do remember this. I was still out there. Offspring got off. And
So you saw Offspring.
I did.
Let's talk about that one for a second.
Yeah, well, they did call out a lot of the people getting stomped in the fucking mosh pit.
Yeah.
And a lot of the girls getting groped and stuff. And
Dexter
said punch the guys on the balls and stuff. And
Yeah, and then please treat the women respectfully. Just because they're crowd surfing doesn't give you the right to molest them.
yeah, and they did also bring out, I think, a blow up sex doll, and then they did something against the Backstreet Boys. I remember
They had Backstreet Boy dummies.
Yeah, where they
And
hit 'em
beat
with bats.
Yes.
Wasn't that Limp Bizkit? That was Offspring?
No, that was Offspring.
Oh, wow.
A couple bands did something.
Yeah.
similar.
So Offspring's kind of on a teeter-totter of taste.
Exactly. Yeah, they're like, hey, be good, and that guy's allegedly a brain surgeon or a genius. Dexter. Yeah, I thought he was a scientist.
Never heard that one.
I think after he got out of
Him and
the
Fred
band.
Durst, right?
Yeah, Fred Durst is a real fucking scientist. He put together that Genius Fanatic movie. Yeah.
Speaking of disasters.
Yeah.
Beautiful disaster.
Anywho, I had no history or recollection of what Korn was as a band. Yeah, well, that's pretty much what they are.
Yeah.
It's just disturbing, weird hard rock.
So good.
I was actually blown away by the concert. I was fairly close, I want to say, to the stage.
So you're seeing Korn and you don't give a shit about Korn.
Don't give a shit.
But you experience their phenomenal
Their energy, yeah.
set.
Yeah.
You were probably shitting your pants. That
yes.
crowd is the most electric crowd I've ever seen at any concert ever for when Korn goes up. And everybody's jumping.
I
at
do
the same
recall
time.
being scared. That was the first time I'm like, I already feel uncomfortable. Now I really feel uncomfortable, but I'm also kind of enjoying this.
Yeah.
And he was like a conductor.
It was electrifying. It was a crazy experience, and he had that place shook up into a fucking whatever.
It was the start of the frenzy.
Yes.
The frenzy was starting.
And are you in it to win it? Are you
I'm not moshing.
around?
No, I'm not a mosher. I'm not down near any of that.
The crowd seemed like it was so crazy that you couldn't get away from people who were jumping around and going nuts.
No, there was some outskirts, like you played the outskirts of Oakland.
Yeah.
there was some outskirts of like the crowd. It looked like from the stage, it looked like very dense, but on the sides and stuff, you could actually get around a little bit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I wanted to get closer, but not as close to like get my fucking nose broken.
Yeah.
I don't think we really mentioned yet what this site is.
Yeah, that's a good point. This site is the worst site for a music festival in the world ever.
Especially during the dog days of summer.
Most uncomfortable. No one expected it to be over 100 degrees. It was over 100 degrees like every day of these 3 days. There's no shade, no trees. It was basically just used because it's good logistically to get like the merchandise in and out.
Wow.
And there was a hospital there. I will give them that.
But it's an Air Force base.
It's an Air Force base, yeah.
All asphalt.
It's all asphalt. The asphalt makes it like 10 degrees hotter.
Yeah.
But when you're next to other people, it's like 10 more degrees. So it could be, you could be feeling up to 120 degrees.
And this goes back to Michael Lang and then promoter John Scher. When they got together again to do this and they wanted to make money, they went to Rome, New York, where the mayor was more than happy to offer the Air Force Base because it had just shut down recently and so many people were out of a job.
Yeah.
So they wanted a little pick-me-up to the economy.
That's the other thing, the other side commentary I heard about this. In some of these documentaries, they get a little wild with editorializing. One of them was like, this is the kids of NAFTA, angry that their parents lost their jobs and stuff, and they're going to act out their aggression, at this festival, which is a little far maybe, but maybe it's correct. But this town definitely economically got destroyed in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And destroyed after that.
So they're taking anything they can get. They got millions of dollars from this festival.
They were very happy to host it.
Yeah.
And the other thing about it is because it's an Air Force base, not only did they have the infrastructure to run this whole thing, you're talking hospital and places for the staff to sleep and live.
Yeah.
But people couldn't sneak in.
Yes, because that was their problem the first two.
Yeah.
Was they were losing out on ticket sales. And this one, I think they just got so much more ticket sales because it was so much more difficult to actually get those fences down and get in.
Yeah.
And as people have noted, it's pretty much the opposite of the kind of environment that you think of for Woodstock.
Yeah, there's like there was a nuclear fucking jet there like a year before.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
So when you say there's no shade, imagine a fucking Air Force base. Of course there's no shade.
Yeah.
There's no trees. There's nothing.
There's no escape. When people wanted to get in, I don't know how my friends got all that vodka in, but for the most part,
they tipped them. They tipped
They probably did.
the Peace Patrol.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
Well, we could get into the Peace Patrol.
Ironic
These
name.
guys are fucking bums.
Yeah.
They're just a bunch of bums that they took off the streets in and around New York.
Yeah.
200 of them got fired for being bullies. Like,
Wow.
I'm
lot of
surprised they had any rules in place.
a lot of them would
They
just
get fired. Imagine getting fired within the 3-day span of the
Yeah.
actual event. That's insane.
No, but also at Woodstock 99.
Yeah.
Like they thought you were
Yeah, you were the
awful
worst of the
enough
worst.
to
Yeah.
fire you.
Yeah. Well, a lot of them actually took their shirts off and just went to the concert and just said,
Yeah.
hey, I got a free concert.
And
Fuck it.
sold their shirts.
And sold their shirts,
Yep.
yeah. I was shocked at how much drugs and paraphernalia were in there. There were like tanks of nitrous just out in the open on the middle of the strip where like the landing strip was, where it's all concrete. There was
Wow.
like nitrous tanks. People were selling mushrooms, ecstasy.
Bozo the Clowns holding a giant tank.
Yeah. Want to be like me?
Ed McMahon's here.
Hey, guys.
Honk, honk. But yeah, the security was a fucking joke. All they were doing was protecting the vendors. They were just protecting the money, the ATMs, all that shit. They didn't go out into the camp area. They didn't give a fuck about anything. They just kind of they did very little.
And if you've seen these documentaries that came out, the Netflix, the HBO, I mean, these are bums that were the security
Bums.
guards.
Fucking bums. They were like,
No offense.
Yeah. They were like doing security at bar mitzvahs before this. You know, they were
Or no security experience
security.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, they were supposed to take a test or something to be able to pass it, and they literally showed up and just got handed a T-shirt, and that was it.
No crowd control training, no nothing. It
No.
was just like minimal. Just like if you were above 6'1", they wanted you to be security.
Yeah, it was a lot of people that, wanted to get a free concert, and if they got paid for it too, great. And then they realized, oh, there's nobody really looking over my shoulder. Yeah, tip me $100 and I'll let you get in with all the booze and whatever else you brought in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the people that were bribing to get stuff in, it was mostly drugs and booze, but
Yeah.
not water, which became like a fucking scarcity later on in the festival. Anyway, I want to talk about the end of Korn.
Okay, back to Korn.
There was almost a fight backstage with Insane Clown Posse in Korn, actually. I guess they had walked up to the Korn guys, Insane Clown Posse, and apologized for a song dissing them. Korn took it the wrong way because they didn't even know what they were talking about, and there was like a fist fight ensued with Shaggy 2 Dope and John Davis and crew.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So John Davis from Korn isn't even really aware that he's in a feud with ICP.
No.
That's so funny.
But anyway, Korn leaves the stage. The place is fucking electrified.
Yeah.
And on comes Bush.
Yeah.
Why?
Gavin Rossdale admitted to being scared shitless.
Yeah.
After being like, dude, we're not going to be able to recreate what they just did.
Yeah.
This is insane.
I think, that was the case. People are like, oh, they should have chilled out or mellowed down, Korn and all them. But like, these are guys that were playing shitty bars in Bakersfield like a year before.
Yeah.
They're used to not having an audience into it and having to get them into it.
Yeah.
So when they see 500,000 people, they just go fucking insane.
That has to be their favorite performance of all time.
Korn?
Yeah.
Without a doubt. And Jonathan Davis says that it was better than any drug you could ever imagine.
It was legendary.
I can't even believe.
It was amazing. Yeah.
I can't imagine what it would be like
And then
to be
Bush
in
comes
control
on
of that many people.
Yeah.
I know. You never forget it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm acting like I know.
And then Bush comes on and does Glycerin.
Yeah.
Was Bush that big then to be the
late
headliner?
90s,
though?
of course.
Oh, yeah.
To be the big headliner?
Well, hey, maybe my theory is it could have been a last minute switch where John Scher was like, this is crazy. He's just realizing the mistakes he made, maybe. And he wanted to calm it down because Bush did calm it down.
Yeah.
I heard there was people like in the audience like having sex as as Bush was playing. I'm like, this is not the rest of Woodstock here.
Yeah.
Like this is not normal for this. But it did like really mellow it down, and people just started just leaving.
And Gavin Rossdale said that's like one of his favorite accomplishments ever is being able to calm the crowd down after Korn because he was so nervous. I'd rather get him whipped up.
Yeah, it's not as exciting as Korn's experience. Like, I calmed them down.
Yeah, the way he phrased it, though, in the documentary was that he said, I'm glad we were able to bring it back to, Woodstock's roots.
Yeah, okay.
So it's like a little softer.
No, but maybe I'm sure John Scher was going up to everyone just saying, hey, could you calm it down a little? Like, oh, okay, why?
He was saying that the whole weekend.
Scared.
Yeah.
And Bush did a reference to the original Woodstock, one of many that were done that weekend that fell on deaf ears.
Yeah.
They did some reference to Country Joe and the Fish from the original, and nobody gave a crap.
No one even knew what the fuck they were talking about. But yeah, I remember I was like, all right, I'm done for the night. I'm tired. I'm thirsty. I'm heading back to our home base there. I remember the first time I found water for $10 a bottle there.
10.
Oh my God.
I thought it was $4.
Yeah, no, but
then they started jacking up
But
prices.
once it got later in the night, they started jacking up prices once it got more scarce. They're like, oh, yeah, we're out of it. We got another shipment coming in, so that's why we're charging more. It was insane, dude.
And it was the same price of beer, right?
I didn't get any beers there, actually.
You didn't?
No, because we had all that vodka. I didn't really... I was drinking Gatorade and vodka like the entire time.
Beers were the same price, though, because there
Probably.
were people interviewed that said, if I'm going to pay this much for a drink, I'd rather get a buzz.
Which dehydrated them.
Yeah, exactly.
There was like a beer garden with a lot of people hanging out there. I didn't go there. I didn't really care.
Not even one beer.
No.
Wow.
Not even
That's
one.
insane.
That is
well,
insane.
I'm also like 18, 19, so I was...
All the more reason why it's insane.
Yeah. I'm not like going to hang out there and like, have a conversation with, the other people at the bar there and just like, hey, what's
The
going
other felons, would-be felons.
yeah. Yeah. Fucking Jesse Plemons' uncle's there.
Hey, you want to go break some stuff?
Yeah.
Y'all feeling like your back's up against the wall?
You want to make some people feel uncomfortable somewhere around this festival?
I'll get you against the wall.
Yeah.
Sonny boy. Then you hear,
Nookie.
so this is Friday. That wraps up
So that's Friday. So Friday night,
day one.
the last thing I remember happening was we're back at the thing. Some girl stumbles into our area and just says she needs some water. And I just said, this is vodka. And she chugs it and just keeps running.
Oh, my God.
People were like fucked up, man. Like,
Yeah.
You could have killed her giving her the vodka.
I told her it was vodka.
Actually, she was one of the victims of Woodstock 99.
Nah, yeah.
Imagine.
There was,
Can we read about it?
I never saw. I was in the
later?
bathroom the whole time.
yeah. So, yeah, I was in the bathroom most of the time. But not this bathroom.
Yeah,
These
you don't
bathrooms
want to
are
be in
mad.
those bathrooms.
That was it for the night. I remember Friday night I survived. I woke up Saturday morning, felt like shit again, of course.
You
Felt like
didn't
garbage.
go to the 24-hour rave tent?
My friend did. He was like, hey, you want to come to this rave? I'm like, no, thanks.
And he just was on vodka at that point still.
Yeah.
You
And
guys didn't have any ecstasy?
he got some at that rave. I didn't go, but he went to the rave and
I would have been at the rave tent.
I didn't go.
So you couldn't even bring water or beers to your campsite.
No, not from outside.
Wow.
No, not at all. You're not allowed
What
to
are you
bring any
supposed
food.
to do? You're sleeping there overnight. You're
Pay
supposed
the-
to act-
Buy the beer.
Pay the vendors who have
They're open all night.
Yes.
They have no price
Wow.
controls at all.
And never
shit.
went to bed the festival.
Wow.
And the promoter, John Scher, even said it's not a poor man's festival.
Yeah.
So Saturday morning, I remember trying to find some way to get clean or somewhere to go to the bathroom.
Good luck.
Yeah. I'm there 24 hours and it's already fucking a mess. It looked like, it was like 3 months later, but it was like 24 hours later. Whatever company they hired to clean the toilets and showers area, like they must have quit like immediately because nothing was ever done. It was like rocky gravel area covered with like crap and like there was like weird water spraying somewhere, like a mist, and you were supposed to like shower in that.
It caused humidity too, didn't it?
What's that?
Any of the water sprays they had, because
Yeah.
it would hit the bodies and then the humidity would just rise and make it so much worse.
Yeah.
That's what somebody said.
Either way, the whole area was too gross for me, and I just turned around and went back, and I didn't shower the entire time I was there.
Wow.
I poured like water over my head.
Are you surprised by that, really, Kyle?
No, but it's just like
Did you see any pictures of the people that were there?
Yeah.
Some people got trench mouth, which is like that dates back to like the 1800s.
Yeah.
where there's like bacteria shit in your water. So like the water was contaminated.
Yeah, that's unconscionable in my opinion that they allowed that to happen.
Yeah.
Couldn't bring in your own water and they fed you poisoned water.
Yeah, it
It's
was
sick.
poisoned water. Some girls, they were tested and they had trench mouth, which is like fucking. Yeah, that's
It's
what
just sores all
it's
over
like
your mouth.
consumption and
It's like hoof and mouth
yeah,
disease.
We
yeah.
haven't seen a case of this since the
Yeah.
1800s. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the events that were going on or the decor? They did have things like a film festival tent.
They did. I never even looked into. I walked around there. I checked it out. It was
looked
not.
shitty.
It was not. It was dumb.
Yeah, it looked
was
really
stupid.
poorly put together.
That day, I remember I bought fake mushrooms specifically.
Fake.
Yeah,
or just real mushrooms that
I
weren't
thought they were real.
psychedelic.
Some guy sold them to me. Some big guy.
shiitakes.
Yeah.
It didn't sound like there were any cool hangout spots.
No, there was no. I hung out underneath like a tarp in our camp area just to stay cool. Like,
Yeah.
I put like a towel over my head that was wet just to feel some level of comfort. It was awful. The days were hell.
Did you get sunburnt?
No, I brought enough sunblock. I think I didn't get sunburned too bad.
He looked like powder.
Yeah, it was inescapable heat.
Yeah.
It was awful.
Over 100 degrees.
Yes,
Plus the asphalt. Plus the assholes.
and the assholes. Yeah. So eventually, I get up some energy, and I'm like, I want to go see something here. I go to Dave Matthews Band.
Pum pum.
Okay,
Pum pum pum
got
pum pum.
the
I don't know what
schedule
song that
open
is.
here.
Pum 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 pum.
So this is late. You skipped Tragically Hip. You
Yeah.
skipped Kid Rock.
Yeah, I did skip Kid Rock. Yeah.
I can't stand. I used to love him. I hate him now.
But you wouldn't have had fun at that Woodstock
Oh, I would have
performance.
loved every second of it.
Yeah.
But I found out he was rich growing up, and it really turns me off.
Yeah, his dad owned a bunch of car dealerships.
Yeah, they showed a picture of his childhood home, and it's a mansion, and he fucking sings in his song, "I'm not straight out of Compton. I'm straight out the trailer." And he never
was-
lived in a trailer.
Really?
Yeah.
That does kind of annoy me. And
Yeah.
he came out in a fur coat. And he said, I'm not political or nothing, but Monica Lewinsky is a fucking hoe and Bill Clinton is a goddamn pimp.
I mean, yeah.
This is the level of intellect we're dealing with at this So you skipped that one, I guess.
Can I add something?
Of course.
I'm at Dave Matthews Band. I'm starting to notice like not only do I feel like shit, but all the other people around me are looking and feeling like shit.
Looking, feeling, smelling.
Some girl right in front of me just seizes up. Like people are starting to drop like flies. Her boyfriend puts her over his shoulder and like runs her to the infirmary. People are just like
people are probably still grabbing her ass.
Yeah. Oh my God, Kyle. Jesus Christ.
No, he's
Woodstock 99.
He's not exaggerating. That's the kind of stuff that was going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were savages.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember Dave Matthews Band specifically saying, damn, there's a lot of boobies out there. I found that kind of weird.
A lot of the acts were referencing the boobs.
I think there was a lot going on out there.
You skipped Wyclef as well.
Wyclef, I skipped that also. I just didn't care about Wyclef. I don't really have to see
He
it.
did a Hendrix tribute. Again, nobody cared about. He played the Star Spangled Banner and lit his guitar on fire.
I have something else that I missed that day and night.
What?
I wasn't there for Limp Bizkit. I know.
For shame.
Do we have a button for that?
I was like done for a while. I was like, I need a fucking rest, man. It was just like, it was getting, after I saw that girl, it looked like she died. I was like, all right, if I stay out here long enough, I'm going to die too.
So Dave was it. You're like, I'm good with Dave Matthews today. Because that was the band you wanted to see the most, right?
Yes.
So you felt satisfied.
Not the most. Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know what band I did want to see the most. I just wanted to go, basically. I don't really care about any of these bands. Right?
And you didn't stick around for Alanis. She followed Dave.
No, I think I did see part of Alanis. Yeah. Okay. No, I did see part of Alanis, but I left in the middle of her because it was like kind of like a dead portion of the concert. It was like people weren't that into it. But yeah, I heard about Limp Bizkit afterwards, and I heard it from where I was hanging out that it was fucking insane. Obviously, I've seen the documentaries. I know how it kind of...
You know what went on.
I know what went on.
While you were sleeping in the tent.
Yeah. I've been watching the Limp Bizkit set at Woodstock 99, like the Zapruder film. Every minute of it. It's hard to me because at the beginning of Limp Bizkit playing, he does play some slow songs. He is telling everyone to get the fuck up and all that stuff, but then he mixes in some mellower music.
At one point, he says, they're telling me to tell y'all to mellow out.
Yes, they told him that, like, it seemed like halfway in between or something.
He did say that before break stuff. It was because people were getting hurt. Yeah. So he said, I don't really want you to mellow out, though. I just don't want people to get hurt.
You know what I think it was? I think he did mention, you guys see Korn rip it up last night? I think overall the vibe was like, Fred, you should calm it down here. And he's like, wait a second, you brought me to Woodstock. I'm now competing with my friendly band Korn, who are all my brothers and stuff. So like, I'm not going to turn it down. That's not how I do things.
Right.
This is going to make me look worse. You know, I want to do a legendary performance here.
Yeah.
This is what I came here for.
Should we put some of it on?
Yeah, I have a clip, Kyle, in 1938, if you could start it up. You know, after Alanis Morissette played, there's like some uneasy rage just in the entire festival.
Yeah.
It's just starting to get weird.
Hey, they want to ask us to ask you to mellow out a little bit. They say too many people are getting hurt.
Fuck you.
Don't let nobody get hurt. But I don't think you should mellow out.
Hell no.
Mellowing out? That's what Alanis Morissette just had you motherfuckers do.
Burn.
Yeah!
Too much good.
Birkenstock rock, y'all. This is 1999, motherfucker.
That's right.
Take your Birkenstocks and stick them up your fucking ass.
Kyle would have been front row like, yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Right now, I want to do something to see if I can't get this whole motherfucking place from front to back to get the fuck up.
I'm getting pumped now.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, and then do you want to go to 2220? This is when he first acknowledges the plywood in the audience.
Oh, yeah.
There's some serious energy in this fucking place.
That's for sure. Meanwhile, Mark's sleeping in his tent.
Well, he keeps naming other groups.
All right. Are you people on the
He says naming groups that weren't even there.
Yeah.
Y'all see Aerosmith?
You like Led Zeppelin?
Are you people in the back?
Kyle's about to jerk off here.
He's about to break his dick.
Okay. So he's acknowledging, and then he sees the wood. This is like 22 minutes in. He does
See, my wood.
We've all. This is like 22 minutes of an hour set.
We're with you.
You could tell he's whipping this whole audience into a frenzy.
Yeah.
After they had to listen to Ironic.
Yeah. I think Nookie came like soon after that. People started ripping apart speakers and like press stands. Then they start doing more of the baseboard stuff and the baseboard surfing and shit.
Yeah.
And then they keep asking him to turn it down. Could you go to 40-10 here? This is when they're doing in the middle of break stuff.
Reach deep down inside and take all that negative energy.
Yeah, that line right there really pissed people off.
All that negative energy. And let that shit out of your fucking system.
Yes.
You got girl problems. You got boy problems.
I get
You
goosebumps
got parent problems. You got
with
boss
this performance.
problems. You got job problems. You got a problem with me. You got a problem with yourself. It's time to take all that negative.
Most of the normal people have left the pit, and it's just like the most insane people in the world down there now.
It's just building up.
Yeah.
There's people on top of plywood being passed around the crowd.
Yeah. I saw one dude on plywood. He just disappears.
You got it. I feel like shit. My suggestion is to keep your distance. Because right now I'm dangerous. We've all felt like shit.
Sing it, Kyle.
Treated like shit.
All those motherfuckers.
You wanna step up? I hope you know a pack of chainsaw. I'll skin your ass raw. And if my day keeps going this way, I'm just
It's like 5,000 brawls just happening next to
Yeah.
it.
People know what's about to happen.
It's coming, baby.
Yeah.
Let's get ready.
this way, I just might break something tonight. A pack of chainsaw.
Oh,
Skin
yeah.
your ass raw. And if my day keeps going this way, I just might break your fucking face tonight.
And this is where everything changes for the rest of the way.
Give me something
This is it, yeah. It goes insane.
It becomes a never-ending hellscape for the
It
next
does,
48
yeah.
hours.
Go to 58-15 now. I know I get a
Holy shit.
lot of videos, but
No, that's great.
But this is the turning point where it goes from like kind of too aggressive to like it's completely insane.
Yeah. He's on top of the wood panels now.
Yeah, he's on top of the wood panels. He got security to let him out here and get on the wood panels.
Security's holding part of the wood panel up.
Yeah.
And he's not putting two and two together that they're breaking these panels off.
Yeah.
And that's why they have these surf on.
Kyle, go back to 43-25. This is a very interesting point to me.
Yeah.
This is when he's not listening to John Schur. He's not listening to the promoters. He's going off on his own and not really calming this audience down. And they turn down his mic without him knowing. And he doesn't know what's going on.
Oh.
Hey, what's wrong with
They try to cut the mic?
Yeah, they're cutting the mic.
Wow.
They're turning him down.
Dude, I'd be like him too then. Be like, fuck this place. Let's fucking rage. You're trying to shut me up?
Let me break your fucking
And
face.
then some guy, the stagehand, comes over and tells him, we'll turn you up if you calm things down.
Wow. Oh, and that's when he goes on to the whole
Yep. He agrees to it, but that does none of it.
shit.
Yeah.
They know they have more bangers after that. They could get people just as fucking riled up.
But I'm surprised they turned the mic back up because,
Yeah.
you know, they that was the only control they had over.
Well, what are you going to do? They're going to play. People are going to go crazy. If you kick them off the stage,
I know.
they're going to go even crazier.
But they eventually did kick him off the stage.
Wow.
They ended their set early.
But they did play George Michael's
They did do
Faith.
60
They
minutes.
did. I heard in a documentary that they did get kicked off. I think the Netflix one said that they
Wow.
did. They were sent off early.
But at least they managed to get that crowd-pleasing sing-along out, the Faith.
Yeah,
Because that seems like a good
that's their
ending
out
song.
usually. Maybe they got told you got one more song. We're fucking pulling you off or something.
And what's ridiculous about that is John Scher, the promoter, this guy that's awful, he's like, everybody, calm down. Now stay tuned for Rage Against the Machine.
Exactly. Yeah. I have that here. Exactly. That's so funny. Yeah, it's just like, oh yeah, Rage Against the Machine.
That's so funny, dude.
Machine is corporate America, and that's what these assholes are.
Yeah. This night is just, Limp Bizkit, Rage Against the Machine, and Metallica. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. Fred Durst gets right off stage, goes right backstage to John Norris of MTV, and he goes, "It's not our fault."
Wow.
Like Alejandro has a video there of Fred talking about it.
Yeah, so-
somewhat recently.
As we've discussed, a lot of shit went down after this performance, and the festival just turned upside down.
Yeah.
And this is Fred Durst talking about his role in that.
It's time to take all that negative energy and put it the out.
I don't think they understood that I meant, okay, let's get rid of all that negativity so
Oh,
we can
okay.
bring positive in. That means start jumping, jumping and singing. It doesn't mean start raping and burning the place down. That's definitely not what I meant.
Come and get it.
They go right into that.
He meant well.
Well, everyone.
I mean, I think that's pretty much a given. Like, get all your negative energy and fucking let it out. Like,
That's how I view
well,
it.
Yeah.
John sure has said he did acknowledge I should have had some lighter bands in between them, like Rage Against the Machine and Metallica, and but it's too late.
it's not the band's fault. It's the situation that they thrust these fucking people
Thank
into.
you.
Yeah, yes.
That's
Yeah.
the real criminal here.
Yeah.
It's not the band. It's not Fred Durst. It's that this whole fucking thing sucks.
Yeah. In fact, I would say that the only thing that kept people there was the music.
Yeah.
Because if this was all
What else, Kyle? The film festival?
right, exactly.
Yeah.
But no, I'm saying if
The rave?
it was softer music and it's all Alanis Morissette and Sheryl Crow and the fucking Dixie Chicks or whatever, people will just leave.
And they were right. Well, or they could leave. That's true. That
Yeah.
would have been a better scenario than
Right.
what happened.
People would have left if it was like the fucking
But that would have been a better
Put
scenario.
Yanni next.
Yeah.
Or-
Kenny G.
or they would have tore shit up there anyway.
Right.
Because Rage was like, "You sure you want us to play?" And they're like, "Yeah," because they might tear up the entire fucking place if you don't.
Because they're expecting Rage Against the Machine.
They are, yeah.
So they would be really pissed.
Well,
if-
Rage actually agreed to turn down to 75% of volume. So they agreed to turn down their set. They still fucking rock. It was amazing.
Yeah.
they kind of got the short end of the stick historically, though, because nobody talks about their set.
Yeah, exactly. It's all
That's
about
true.
fucking who did the craziest shit.
Metallica, too.
Yeah.
And Rage Against the Machine, at the end of their set, Zach De La Roca burned an upside-down American flag. And they all walked off stage, and that got no press.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Fred Durst is an asshole.
Yeah.
While the flag is burning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That he
Yeah.
had nothing to do with.
Woodstock 99 is all, it's Limp Bizkit, Korn, and Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah.
much all you really hear about.
Each night.
But Rage, they didn't provoke the audience, really. They didn't play Fire by Jimi Hendrix. They just, they played their usual, fuck imperialism and fuck the cop stuff, which, to be honest, these white dudes are just raging out to the sound of it and stuff, and the anger. Yeah, I thought Rage was amazing. I think they were one of my favorite acts there.
You returned to Rage then. You went to watch Rage.
Yeah, I did go to watch Rage, yes.
Okay.
My friend actually, he told me he had a couple ecstasy pills. So we go to see Rage Against the Machine and Metallica.
You took E to what? You were rolling for those.
Yes, which was the worst mistake because right when it hit me, we did one of these things where we both had ecstasy pills and we tapped them like we were doing shots or something, and I dropped mine on the ground of Woodstock, and then I'm swallowing pebbles, the things that I think are the pill.
Oh my
and I'm
God, getting trench mouth.
I'm I don't know. Yeah, I'm getting trench mouth. I'm I don't know if I got the pill. Maybe it's not going to hit me. Right in the middle of Metallica where it's ooh, that's when it hits me.
Yeah.
I respect both bands. I can't think of two bands I'd rather see less on ecstasy.
It was the worst idea.
I would have rather gone to see fucking Moby
Yeah.
on ecstasy.
Yeah, he was there too.
Yeah. And in one of the docs, he's like, I saw the whole thing coming.
All right, no one cares about
These
Moby.
misogynistic pigs.
Yeah.
God.
That didn't help mellow me out. Yeah, doing that ecstasy right in the middle of Metallica's set. At some point in the middle of Metallica, I'm getting closer and closer, and I'm noticing this mosh pit. I can't even tell you what this looks like. It looks like Apocalypse Now. Like I'm on drugs. Like fucking, I see all the most insane violence in the world happening. Like people are just bashing each other's heads in.
Maybe you saw that one guy.
The one guy that died?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have some detail on him, but I didn't see that guy. But I remember distinctly while I'm on these drugs, Metallica's rocking out. Some guy that I grew up with in my neighborhood kind of stumbles up to me. He's got no shirt on. He's filthy. He's bloodied and bashed.
And you didn't go there with him.
No.
He found you somehow.
He just popped out of the mosh pit.
He was escaping the mosh pit. He was like running. It seemed like his brain was bleeding. Like he wasn't talking right. He was fucked up. And he goes, all he says to me is he goes, it's fucked up in there, man. And then he just keeps stumbling forward behind me. It just keeps going. I never saw him ever again. I don't know if he survived or what happened. He could have just dropped dead like 5 steps behind me.
Do you think he recognized you?
He did.
Oh,
we recognized each other. I'm like, hey, Brian. He's like, and all he said was, it's really bad in there.
And that's it.
Go that way.
And that was it.
Parting words.
Parting words. Yeah. I was just like, all right, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so on ecstasy, you still didn't have the urge to hit up the 24-hour rave tent after Metallica. Thank God you didn't go that night.
It's
though.
possible I could have. I don't really remember that much, to be honest. I might have went there for a little bit, but yeah, that seemed like even a weird scene.
Well,
also.
Saturday night in the Netflix doc, when Fatboy Slim played, that's the night that these hooligans stole a car from the Woodstock compound.
Yeah.
And then drove it into the rave tent.
Yeah.
And they found a girl.
They were assaulting some girl in there.
Yeah, that was being
Yeah.
assaulted inside.
Yeah.
And then they had to shut down Fatboy Slim's show to get the girl to safety and get the car out of there because everyone's dancing. Someone drove a car into the crowd.
It was,
that is so
how
dangerous.
did they get the keys? It was so weird.
With a girl being raped inside of it.
Yeah.
How insane
What
is
the
that?
fuck?
How do you continue to party after that?
Yeah, you can't. That was the problem. There was no security anywhere. There was no presence. No one was doing anything.
And people were openly fornicating during Fatboy Slim's set. He said he saw.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like it was just pandemonium.
It was insane.
Yeah.
So yeah, Metallica was aggressive. I could imagine if you were in the middle of that pit, you weren't able to get out. I even saw like the guy that I grew up with barely, escape what was going on down there. There was no organization. It was mayhem.
Gaping head wound guy.
Gaping head wound Brian. Yeah. Guy who never saw again. Did he survive? I don't know.
We have no idea.
Yeah. I didn't get invited to the funeral.
And you had taken ecstasy before, so it's not like overwhelming in that sense. You knew what you were in for.
It felt like a different strand that I have only done it once as a teenager before in like college or something, but I wasn't like an ecstasy head. I didn't really do that much, but having it the second time doing it at Metallica was probably a bad idea.
You weren't like a raver wearing like lipstick, holding glow sticks.
No, I was the total opposite of that. I never did anything like that. But it was
Metallica, I can't even imagine what that would be like.
Oh my God. Yeah, no one had rave sticks at Metallica. They probably fucking shoot you in the face.
Exit light. Ooh.
Yeah, man. Feel the love. No, it was not like that at all. But that night, actually, like around this time, unfortunately, someone did die. There was the first death of Woodstock 99 occurred during Metallica. The man's name was David DeRosa. He died of hypothermia, which is a weird thing to die of. But it seems like
cool,
it would,
right? It's like you have to be. It's like cold.
Hyperthermia. It's probably the opposite, where you cook to death.
Oh, you know what? That could be right.
It's hyper versus hypo. One's cold, one's hot.
Well, what happened was David was a young guy in good health. Actually, John Schur, the fucking asshole on the shit list, by the way, promoter, said he was fat. That's the reason why he had a pre-existing condition. That's why he died.
Wow.
What a fucking asshole.
Ask John Scher a question about something that went wrong at Woodstock,
and he deflects.
He'll give you a deflective answer.
Yeah, every fucking time. He also said, by the way, all the girls that were groped at Woodstock, he said, what were they wearing? What they were asking for it.
I have an exact quote I jotted down.
Okay.
Woodstock was like a small city, you know? There would probably be as many or more rapes in any size city of that, but it wasn't anything that gained enough momentum so that it caused any on-site issues, other than, of course, the women it happened to.
Wow.
That's a quote from John Scher.
Oh my God.
Yeah, only the women it happened to had to deal with it.
So David DeRoja, it wasn't his fault, you know.
He was obese, according to John Scher.
But the real problem was, they found out in retrospect, was they didn't have proper facilities on the premises at Woodstock 99 in order to treat him, because they didn't even know what he had. They didn't properly treat him until he got to a hospital like 2 hours later.
Which is odd to me, because this is on the Air Force base where they did have that infrastructure.
That's part of the reason
with
why
the
they were there.
hospital.
No, they just wanted the infrastructure to keep people out from not paying tickets, who didn't pay tickets, rather. So they didn't care about the, having a good doctor, because the doctor that they did hire was actually fired from her New York City hospital job a couple months later for doing like a bad job, basically.
Jesus.
Yeah, so they got the cheapest possible thing on every turn so they could make more profit.
And as you heard in the podcast we both listened to, Break Stuff it's called.
Yeah.
And the 2 docs, actually the Netflix didn't cover this guy at all, but the HBO one did.
Yeah.
He was so excited to be there. It was his idea, and he convinced all his friends to go with him.
Yeah.
And how old was he?
24.
24.
Yeah.
So they go to Woodstock, and he's just having the time of his life. Apparently, none of them were even drinking. They just were there for the music, and he actually kept a journal.
Yeah.
And I have a couple of things from the journal here that I jotted down as well. He said that he had seen the band live and they were very good. Jamiroquai, not good.
Agreed.
Listened to a horrible set by Andy Dick.
Of course.
Then he wrote, I'm doing okay but tired. Then he saw Korn and Bush. And he also wrote, boob count is too high to keep counting. Kind of getting old. And then outlook for a shower, not good. Tomorrow's goal, this is written on Friday. Tomorrow's goal, get on the Woodstock video by being in the Metallica pit.
Yeah.
Rock on.
Yeah, his friend actually was with him. His friend let him go. He's like, I'm not going to go in the pit. You go ahead. It looks too dangerous for me. And I'm kind of on the board with that. But his friend was like crying in one of the documentaries how bad he felt that he wasn't there to like be with his friend, because his friend just like seized up in a pit like that. You're going to be sticking around for a while before, unfortunately, they bring you to security. They're able to get you to help.
Yeah. This keeps getting sadder the more I'm reading about it. He was the primary caretaker for his mom, who was suffering for all the effects of Lyme disease for years.
Man.
She's got intermittent blindness at the time. She's got muscle weakness. And he was the guy taking care of her, and she was nervous about him going. And his last words to her was, "Don't worry, Mom."
Oh, Jesus Christ!
And then you get the call that he died.
Oh God!
And from his friend's perspective, you go to a concert with your friend, you leave without your friend.
Yeah,
that must feel
awful.
Yeah,
his body temperature went all the way up to 107. So he cooked to
and
that. It was hyperthermia.
Hyperthermia.
Yeah.
So what happened with that exactly?
So hyperthermia is when you completely overheat and there's no way for your body to cool itself down.
Okay.
And it just got stuck. But the fact that he was at a tent where, it was understaffed and it sounds like under knowledgeable, I guess.
What they should have done was thrown him into an ice bath right away. That would have
saved him.
That would have saved him. Yeah.
Yeah, but they said he was agitated and non-cooperative, so they gave him a sedative to calm him down, and he's literally like cooking to death. And they're like, just have a Valium, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
And so it took a couple hours for them to be like, oh shit, he's not getting
It's
better.
that simple, just to throw him in an ice bath and just cool his entire system down, because once they got him to the hospital, then they started doing this, but it was already too late.
Yeah.
And I understand that he was belligerent and out of his mind. He was probably scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But these are supposed to be professionals. Like, okay, what might be going on possibly at this festival where it's over 100 degrees? Wouldn't they be ready to deal with people that are overheated?
So
yeah, and there was also a lack of water. There was no like water mist going on in the audience like you have at normal concerts where it's over 90 degrees.
Yeah. And he went into a coma the next day. And as he was in the coma, the doctors are quoted as saying he was oozing blood from all orifices.
Oh, my God.
That's what his chart reads.
The doctor at Woodstock was a 2-year resident, that is a young rookie doctor, basically.
Yeah.
Hasn't really seen enough to really know what they're doing. They should have had like an Iraq war veteran fucking doctor there.
Yeah.
This doctor is one step removed from the Peace Patrol.
Yeah, pretty much. The Paw Patrol.
Yeah. Hello.
More like, right?
But yeah, I think this is on John Schur also. And that's why he's deflecting by saying the guy was fat. What a fucking asshole.
Everything
Has he looked in a fucking mirror? I'll say that again to him this time. John Schur.
Yeah. So yeah, the guy was DeRosa was 5'9" and 340 pounds. So I mean, I guess that's an easy target to be like, he wasn't taking care of himself. He's gonna die. Anyway.
He's young though, so like without any other complications. But all the people in the emergency tents, they said they were just overrun by people. Like it could have been that they didn't have the time or resources to dedicate to this person because they had so many people coming in.
Was it something like 100 an hour that were
Yeah, it was a lot. Yeah.
being treated for heat exhaustion?
Every hour, like more and more people were coming in. Even as it got more aggressive and scary, more and more people started showing up.
This is a concert.
Yeah.
People are supposed to be having fun.
Yeah. One of the EMTs, as it was going forward, was like, "Oh, we're fucked. People are gonna die.
We're not equipped for this."
Yeah.
I'm surprised more people didn't.
Yeah.
A second man did die in his 40s. He died of cardiac arrest, but he did have known heart conditions before. I'm surprised there's anyone in their 40s also at Woodstock 99, but, do what you will, say lovey.
Let's break some stuff.
I know, yeah. It's like, dude, how old are you?
He's bald. He's got like a little gray ponytail in the back. So David DeRosa, he was actually pronounced dead that Monday, right?
Yeah. After being in a coma and
Yeah.
apparently bleeding out of every hole. That's so crazy.
Oof.
Yeah, but the guy that died of cardiac arrest, he was pronounced dead that day.
Like Saturday
Yeah.
during Alanis or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Just trying to
Yeah.
paint a
Imagine
picture
having a
here.
heart attack during Alanis Morissette. Isn't it ironic?
Yeah.
I think it was just the issues with the crowd control and everything going on there. It led to just mayhem, and these people could have been saved, in my opinion.
And speaking of Alanis again, his treatment was kind of like that song.
Yeah.
The 10,000 spoons was the sedatives they were giving him, and all he needed was ice water, which is the knife.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Hello.
But I have a little section here on the sexual assaults.
Oh, nice.
Okay, we gotta get to that.
I know. Kyle, play this this clip I just emailed you.
Hello.
This is after the Beastie Boys won a VMA right after Woodstock 99.
For Hello Nasty, the album.
Yeah, great album.
I'd like to thank MTV for giving us the opportunity to be in a room with all these musicians that are here tonight. Especially for giving us the microphone, because there's something I really want to talk about tonight while I have the time. I read in the news and heard from my friends all about the sexual assaults and the rapes that went down at Woodstock 99. It made me feel really sad and angry. Okay? Are you all there?
The nervous
Okay.
laughter.
Yeah.
You all remember
People
that?
are just shocked
But
he's
that
bringing
takes
this up.
balls to do what he's doing.
Of course.
Well, I was thinking, why should I just feel mad about it and not do anything about it? I think we can do something about it. As musicians. Now, I'm talking to all the musicians here. Thank you,
Diana
all the
Ross.
musicians here. I think we can talk to the promoters and make sure that they're doing something about the safety
Like
of
John
all the
Scher.
girls and the women that
Yeah.
come to our shows. I think we can talk and work with the security people
to make sure they know and understand about sexual harassment and rape, and they know how to handle these situations. You know what I'm saying? Respectfully. Anyway, I want to dedicate this award
Well said,
to
Ezra.
everybody out there that's down to make change happen. Thanks.
So that was a pivotal moment, you know, like obviously they brought that room to an entire standstill.
Yeah, I'm surprised I don't remember that, to be honest.
Yeah,
I used to watch the VMAs and all those shows.
Maybe
all the
they
time.
cut the feed.
Maybe.
They could have, you never know, but they'd get a ton of shit for that, especially these days. But you know, a lot of the stuff we did cover with the sexual assault stuff, I personally did not see a lot of this stuff. But that was up more the mosh pits and stuff where a lot of the big gropes were happening.
Yeah.
And I heard in a lot of these documentaries, a lot of like assaults did go on in like these bigger circles of dudes of like, you know, 50,000 people. You can't get out anywhere. And like, you know, and these girls were like cornered and stuff. So obviously it sounds ridiculous.
This frat boy dark energy.
Yeah. I remember there were some dudes near us, these like Southern weird, not to say Southern is bad, but they were just like,
I'm saying it.
There were some girls they were talking to.
They're like, hello, I'm a Southerner.
Yeah. Some girls, some girls were talking to them.
Gosh.
Yeah. And I forgot what I was saying now.
Some girls were talking to who?
Some girls were talking to these Southern guys.
Oh, yeah.
And they were like, hey, what's going on? They're like, oh, we're just, we're having fun over here. I'm about to pull my ding-a-ling out. And everyone was like, what the fuck did that guy just say? And I was just like, this is not normal people here. It's bad.
And I even saw one of the warm-up guys on stage in one of the early concerts.
Yeah.
Like hyping the crowd up. And he was just like, yo, I'm looking at all the women with their tops off now. And let's just say I got to go out back and, you know, do something.
Disgusting.
It's awful.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I'll say this. It was a lot of guys. It was like 60 to 70% guys, basically. It was a brodeo. And a lot of them in their early 20s.
Fucking pickle potty.
Yeah.
With no moral compass.
No moral compass.
At all.
Yeah. And they're, you know, it's a lot of college scumbags, basically.
Yeah.
From various parts of the country. And it's just like, there's just bad elements. There's like weird biker guy. I don't know. It's just, they let anyone in.
It's not good.
It's not good. No, it's not. I felt uneasy the entire 3 days I was there.
It's not
weird.
happy-go-lucky. You're having a great time.
Yeah. And it's not cool for John Schur to use that "what was she wearing" defense about any of these assaults. Because he's like, the way he says it is like, everyone comes up to me every morning and says, wow, I had a great time at Woodstock 99. And he says a couple of bad apples made it bad. Like, no, there was more than a couple in these scenarios.
And all it takes is one bad apple to rape somebody or to cause death. And you don't need any more bad apples than that. But guess what, John Scher?
Yeah.
There was more than one, and there was more than 20, I would say.
Well, I noticed they weren't protecting the women or any of the other stuff going on, but the ATMs and all the vending stuff.
The hot dogs.
All the cash was protected. Yeah. The not 35-cent hot dogs were fucking protected, but not the actual people that paid $150 to go this fucking thing. Either way, Saturday's done in the books.
Okay.
It's over with.
You survived.
I survived it.
Yeah.
Whatever it was. And I went back to the camper and I passed out after drinking a lot more vodka to deal with the PTSD I already had of what had gone on.
And did you feed any other random strangers vodka again?
No, not that night. But there was...
No, because they were running low.
But there was weird, fucked up dudes that were just stomping around our camp area like, hey, man, is this my camp? We're like... No, who are you?
Yeah.
Like people just got lost the entire time because it was so dark.
I love how quickly it went from you being into that situation to you being like, hey, get the fuck away from our campsite, you fucking piece of shit.
Okay,
Trevor. Mark's like, shut the fuck up.
But I'm not stomping in the middle of other people's camps saying, hey, man, are you my friend?
It's so nice that you were kind-hearted enough to help this poor fellow.
Yeah.
He spits on him and kicks him in the nuts.
Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, we're like the Bronx Tale guys. Get the fuck off on fucking turf.
Although odds are that any random frat boy dude that you would punch there probably deserved it.
Sure.
Yeah, you take a swing, you're hitting somebody that did something.
Yeah. Yeah. I distinctly remember my friend no one wanted to go to the bathroom because they were so far away from us. But one of our friends took a dump in a box in his tent.
I would have just dug a hole
Yeah.
at some point.
Yeah.
But that's better than the porta potty situation.
It was so far on the other side, but once you got there, like there was you felt like you'd never make it back.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about really how the bathroom situation was flooding, and then there were people they thought it was mud, but they're walking around. It's literal shit.
Yeah.
That they're stomping around
It's like Green Day 94.
They
and
thought
they're
they were
playing
like
in
the mud people, but there was no rain.
Yeah.
So what the fuck you think you're in, motherfucker?
Or they thought it was water from the pipes burst.
Yeah, that's
But
true,
it really was, it was sewage.
It was a mixture of shit. It was all like mixed together. Like that's why people were getting the
But
trench
how
coat.
dumb are these people? I mean, we know how dumb they are, but it smells.
And there were hand washing stations that people just filled up with water and just parked their nasty ass inside
Dude,
of it.
The porta potties were like filled to the brim with shit.
Oh, I'm sure.
The water troughs, it was like rub-a-dub-dub, 3 men in a tub.
Yeah, and that was the shit. The shit contaminated water.
Yeah.
So you couldn't even fuck with that shit. It was gross. I was like fucking starving. I bought one soggy ham sandwich for $10. And that's all I ate.
Soggy ham sandwich here.
Soggy ham sandwich here, $10 here.
Get your soggy ham.
Got $10 cash.
And that was his best moment.
Yeah.
That was my second best moment.
Yeah.
was-
Finding Trevor immediately.
Yeah, and then finding
number one.
food and getting it inside him because that's the only thing I ate the entire weekend.
No.
Wow.
I swear to God.
What?
Wow.
I ate one ham sandwich and chips
Oh, my God.
and a bottle of water. That was the only food I ate the entire time.
I'm surprised you didn't murder Willie Nelson Sunday morning and roast him up.
Yeah. Well, you know what I did Sunday morning? I woke up,
Got the fuck out of there.
I left. We left.
What time?
We saw enough. We must have left at like 11 a.m. or 10 a.m. or maybe even earlier.
Did you see anybody?
Nothing.
That's okay.
Did you leave because it was so dodgy, or did you leave because you had to get back to the pizzeria?
No, we left. We all agreed that we had seen enough. It was not going to get better. We knew there was something in the air that was like, this is about to get even worse.
You understand how miserable of an experience it has to be for a bunch of 18-year-olds to be like, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's what it was. I couldn't deal with it anymore. Like, it wasn't
Wow.
me just being the number one complainer, but I think
Yeah.
I was putting that into the ether. Like, hey, dudes, what do we really want to see here tonight? You know, like, we want to see Jewel. Like, who cares about that? You
Yeah.
know, you guys really Creed nuts here.
Willie Nelson started off the day Brian Setzer, Everlast, Elvis Costello,
Yeah,
Jewel.
like, am I gonna like make myself more miserable to watch Brian Setzer Orchestra? Like, get the fuck out of here!
That would have been
They
kind
had
of
one
fun.
good one.
Oh, God,
Like swing.
you guys are a couple of stray cat losers. Stray cat loser.
Jiving well.
Yeah,
Throw back a secret gay dad.
throwback.
And Creed.
That's fucking Cherry Pop and Daddy's Zoot
Oh,
Suit
yeah.
Riot. Yeah, still swinging a little bit.
Gay dad. Riot.
Creed went on stage and they did another failed original Woodstock bit.
They were like
Scott
nervous.
Stapp is like, hey, everybody, I got Robbie Krieger from The Doors.
Oh, yeah.
And then you could hear crickets in the audience.
From the fucking Doors, man.
Everyone's like, who the fuck are the Doors?
Yeah.
And definitely who the fuck is Robbie Krieger?
Yeah.
The poor guy goes on stage, nobody
I knew because I
looks up.
I like the Doors movie. I just assume it's
But you left.
I know.
You weren't there for that.
I know.
You were the one person that would have gotten how special that was.
But no one cared about anything.
No.
People just wanted to get fucking insane.
There was no Woodstock mythology in the minds of the kids that were there.
No.
Because it was promoted as this is not your grandma's Woodstock. And so it was just a moneymaker for John Scher and Michael
It's
Lang.
not your Woodstock either.
Yeah, there's no nostalgia for 69.
Yeah, I think people were just they were angry. They were just there because they wanted to get their money's worth at that point.
Yeah.
And they wanted to get more than their money's worth. They
Yeah.
wanted to fucking tear
Do
shit
you
up.
think part of it is that everyone thought the world was about to end? And so they're just like, fuck it.
I think it was such a horrible experience for people. There's no water. Everyone's fucking on the verge of death. And they saw the money grabs that were happening. And they're like, you know what? You're going to make money, but I'm going to make sure now you fucking lose money. We're going to fuck this shit up. And I think that's what really was in people's minds.
Well, what happens is Flea comes on stage.
Well, Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Red Hot Chili Peppers. Flea comes out first.
They're the
naked.
last band
Yeah.
on Sunday. there were whispers about some special event that was supposed to happen after Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yep.
So some people thought Jimi Hendrix is going to rise from the dead or something. You know what I mean? Like they were expecting something really cool. That's the backdrop of this performance.
Yeah. If you thought Andy Dick's penis was the last penis you were going to see on stage at Woodstock 99, you were wrong.
Well, that's what they're making it out to be. And then right before Red Hot Chili Peppers go on, they're passing out these candles because they're going to do this big vigil for gun violence.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And they're like, all right, this is the perfect time to do this.
Yes.
And we're months removed from Columbine.
Yes.
Yeah. Columbine is just brand new in like the
that happened that April.
Memories.
Yeah, the gunpowder is still fresh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. We got Walter Cronkite here.
We got Cullen.
The tears are still streaming.
Cullen. Yeah, you're right. But they think they're going to solve the gun crisis with the end of this concert. And
With
boy, were
peace.
they wrong.
Peace candles.
Yeah.
Peace candles, yeah.
And here comes Flea with his cock out on
Yeah,
stage.
yeah. With nothing,
Completely
wearing
butt-ass
nothing but
naked.
a bass guitar.
But if you have to choose a cock, I mean, it would be Flea over Andy Dick.
Yeah.
Any dick. other than
Absolutely.
Andy. But yeah, they had a rocking set for the most part, but people started to, there was a lot of pyros running around the entire time. And I think they started like hitting their stride during the Red Hot Chili Peppers concert because they're finding a lot of things to start burning on fire. At some point, John Schur had to get out there in the middle of Red Hot Chili Peppers set and say, this is not part of the show. You guys should not be starting fires out there. And then Red Hot Chili Peppers is going on and more and more fires are starting up.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, Anthony Kiedis goes, hey, it looks like an apocalypse now out there, man.
And they asked him, like Limp Bizkit, to calm him down.
Even the mayor, I think.
The mayor came
of
out.
Rome, New York, asked them to calm down. The Chili Peppers. And they're like, yeah, fuck you.
No, Anthony Kiedis was like, oh, yeah, we'll absolutely tell him to calm down. And then they went out and they saw that things were getting lit on fire and they played Stand Next to My Fire.
Yeah. And as the audience, seemed like they were being egged on, why not just keep this going?
Yeah.
And I don't think it was the Red Hot Chili Peppers like Limp Bizkit that really, ignited these people.
Yeah.
It was already there.
Happening.
Everything was happening already. The wheels were in motion.
Yeah.
I think the first thing that happened there that really set this audience off, a couple of kids got together and there was this like Ford dealership car that they were trying to sell, or they were like trying to do like a sweepstakes or something. Like you put in your number, they flip it over and then they light it on fire.
Yeah.
And then they go around, they find a couple other trucks and they started burning those. There was like big trucks that were for the vendors and stuff. They start burning those.
And this is after Red Hot's done?
Yeah, Red Hot Chili Peppers finishes.
And at this moment, everyone realizes, oh, that's it. There's no special surprise.
There's not,
We all thought there was something.
We got conned.
Yeah, being hyped.
They were just trying to keep people there.
So they're covered in shit.
Yeah.
They're dehydrated.
Yeah.
It's been a weekend of being ripped off.
Yeah.
And now they have a candle. What are you going to do?
They start burning and tearing apart the entire place. Eventually, they get to the vendors and they start burning those down, which I'm really happy about.
Like the up against the wall motherfuckers.
Yes, they're stealing ATMs. They're fucking destroying shit left and right. They're fucking everything.
If you were
up.
still there, it's either join them or join them.
Yeah. Be part of the riot or be destroyed, basically. Yeah. And I think all the people and those vendors and all the security, they just like dissolved because they're like, I'm not going to take a bullet for fucking Woodstock 99.
Yeah.
So no one's doing anything really.
Everyone closes up shop at that point.
So
and MTV was out of there the day before.
So John Schur could have called the state police way earlier than he did, but he didn't want to pay them.
Wow.
What a prick, this guy.
He didn't
Did
call
we
them.
say that yet?
This was the money-making Woodstock. They had to.
The riot goes through the night. And actually at 12:01 a.m., all security, all their comms shut off because John Schur had only paid for the equipment until the end of Sunday.
Oh
He didn't pay
God.
for Monday.
What a
So all the
loser.
fucking communications go down for all the
Wow.
security.
Peace Patrol out.
Oh, they were out
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah, they turned in their fucking badges and T-shirts.
So I think like an hour later, the New York State Police come in and they finally get it calmed down around 6 or 7 a.m.
And by then it's just ash.
They show up in riot gear and they just totally just do a entire sweep of the entire campground.
Jeez. Wow. And it looks like a fallen city at that point.
Yeah, it looks like Fallujah or something. Like
Holy
Iraq.
shit.
And of course, it's in Rome, New York, and there's all the perfect comparisons to Rome is Burning, the fall of Rome.
Oh, that's good.
And all the pillaging it went in Rome.
Yeah.
Got to join.
Yes. On the darker side.
Well,
of it.
even I heard on the some of the interviews with the podcast, they're like, even kids that would never get down with shit like this were fully involved in this because they're like,
absolutely.
It's what everyone else was doing. Everyone was so angry. This is our get back. This is once it becomes a thing, this is what it's going to be.
That's what I was thinking. I think, the rapists and like horrible minority of people aside, I think a lot of people that were just doing the burning and stuff and just joining in were just like caught up in the moment. It's just mob mentality at that point.
Yeah, if you can flip one of the vendor trucks that was the biggest ripoff of the weekend, how fun would that have been?
Right. That'd be fucking amazing.
Like, this is the same fucking vendor that sold me a soggy sandwich for
$37.
Well, that's interesting because I get home. I fall asleep because I get home at like in the afternoon. I fall asleep for like probably 10, 12 hours or something in the afternoon. And I wake up the next morning and I see this riot happening. And part of me was like, oh my God, thank God I wasn't there. But the other part of me is like, fuck, I wish I burned down that soggy sandwich vendor. I wish I got them back for charging me fucking $10.
You try to burn it down, but it's the only one that won't burn down. There's too much sog.
It's too wet. It is too wet to be burned down.
There's too much sog.
Too much sog on this truck.
He's trying to flip it over, but then he's like, whoa, and it like rolls back on top of him.
Yeah, it kills me. There's too much sog on this hog.
Or you open it up and you're like, guys, soggy sandwiches for everyone. And you start throwing them out.
Yeah. And then I choke on one and that's how I die.
Yeah.
And Mama Cass is like, hey, join the club.
Hey, 27.
Club sandwich.
Even though I didn't die like that.
The third and final death at Woodstock 99 while leaving
was my soul.
Yeah.
Nice. While leaving her handicapped parking spot, Tara Weaver, who was 28 years old, was hit by 2 cars and killed in the Woodstock parking lot.
Jesus.
What?
No one was charged, and it appeared to just have been an accident.
Oh, my God.
I mean, 2 cars hit her at one time?
Yeah. Same
What
thing.
the
Same thing
fuck?
happened to me when I was 25.
Jesus.
That's right. That's another episode.
Yeah. Well, just wait till I die.
What, when you got hit crossing the street?
Yeah, I got hit.
No, I'm saying to tell your story someday.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sure.
That's all.
I'm like, what's going on here, guys?
Did you get hit by 2 cars?
What's in this beer? Yeah, I did.
What?
Yeah.
I thought it was 1.
Yeah, I thought it was 1 too.
No, I get hit by 1, and then one was coming the other way on Washington Street in Newton.
What?
I
How
got
are
hit by
you
2
still
cars.
talking to us right now?
I don't know. Why am I still
Fuck,
talking
maybe
to
we
you?
died.
Yeah. This is the afterlife.
Or did you think maybe you died at Woodstock and
Yeah.
everything else was hell?
Maybe.
Oh, my God.
Because it felt like hell already.
Yeah.
One thing I want to say about Tara Weaver, it was probably a testament to how much people were in a rush to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
That she got hit in the parking lot and stuff.
Jesus.
So very sad thing that happened.
That's awful.
That's 3
God.
deaths, which matches Woodstock 94.
Wow.
In the Netflix documentary, some of the people they interview, like one of them looks like Joe Dirt, and he's
Yeah.
like, it was fun.
Yeah. So that's the element of people there. They weren't very smart. They were kind of brain damaged, and, they were probably perfect place for them, actually.
And there's people still, a girl that I think she was 14 when she went and she was interviewed in the Netflix thing.
She said she had the best time.
I'd do it again.
Yeah,
It was the best time of my
exactly.
life. It's like, what?
Yeah.
And you were 14.
Well, actually, Michael Lang was trying to get one last Woodstock going in 2019.
Woodstock 50.
Woodstock 50. It never happened.
And they had the poster made and everything.
I was ready to buy tickets.
Yeah,
I was
bands
so pissed.
booked.
Yeah.
Foo Fighters and Jay-Z were going to be the
Miley
headliners.
Cyrus.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
It was going to happen in Maryland, though. Like, upstate New York wanted nothing to do with them.
Wow.
Nothing.
Because it was supposed to be every 5 years, remember?
Exactly.
99 really quashed those plans.
Of course, yeah. And it quashed probably this one, too. And then the thing with Michael Lang, it's funny because I looked at his net worth after he died. It was $10 million,
Really?
which is probably around the exact amount he made off of Woodstock 99 once he finally got his shit together and was able to extract all the profit out of that.
John Scher too.
Yeah, they made money.
John Scher making money off of it.
He made fucking money.
And Michael Lang also wrote a book called The Road to Woodstock in 2009, and that was a big hit. So I'm sure he got some money from that deal.
Of course.
And he didn't really do much besides trying to do the...
But he had like 7 kids, though. So I'm sure, and ex-wives, I'm sure that all costs a lot. And that's why he's doing these events every couple of years.
So he tried to do the Woodstock 50. And you know how he was known as the Willy Wonka of concert promoters, eternally youthful. Well, in the HBO doc, he kind of looks like the Woodstock 69 Michael Lang, just a bit older, but the same hair and the same hippie look. But then in the Netflix documentary, which was a little bit later, he looks like he's at death's door. And then he did die in January.
Got cancer. Yeah, he got cancer.
So, I mean, that was a really fast deterioration.
But yeah, he looked young before that because that's what not worrying about any other person actually will do to you, probably.
You're right. He had that peaceful demeanor his entire life. And at Woodstock 99, you can see footage, him and John Scher through press conferences every day. And they all said, hey, this is going great. Oh, there's some bad apples, but it's all
John
great.
Scher blamed Kurt Loder for the negative press. He blamed Kurt Loder for like everything, for MTV and all of them. He's saying they fucking were looking for a narrative. They found it, and then that's the reason why people think bad about it. No, John Scher. I was there. This concert was a fucking mess. It was hell on earth, and it's your fault, asshole. Come meet me in Burbank, Ralph's. I'll fight you in the fucking parking lot. Come on down.
And Michael Lang, there's a lot of footage of him wandering the Woodstock 99 grounds, and he's wearing annoyingly short shorts. And I just fucking hate them.
Oh, God.
It's like, who the fuck do you think you are?
I wish I saw him there. I would have knocked him out.
How annoying. And then John Scher, like in his little baseball cap.
Yeah, he wore a baseball cap.
Like, hey, guys, I'm John Scher.
Hey, you having fun? You get punched right in the stomach.
You having as much fun as me? I'm having a good time here.
Yeah.
Everyone else is covered in shit.
Yeah.
And they're dying of heat exhaustion. Y'all having a good time?
Yeah. People haven't eaten in days. Yeah, I didn't
He's
eat.
chewing on a sandwich.
Oh, they had, it was
What's the matter?
Ooh, I love this dry sandwich I'm having.
Oh, they lived like kings behind the scenes.
Oh, yeah. Behind the scenes, it was like a club. It was like Club Med back there. They had plenty of merch. They had Red Bull. They had water. They had food.
Air conditioning.
Yeah. They were fine back there.
It was like Dennis Hopper in Land of the Dead, if anyone saw that.
Wow. Deep reference. I will watch that tonight, though.
Google it.
But yeah, that was a dichotomy of that situation. The plebes like me were treated like shit, and the talent, if you in quotation marks, they were living the lavish lifestyle there.
Yeah.
Mark went, he saw, and he got the hell out of Dodge. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. I'm glad I survived, and it was what it was. It was an experience. Shout out to all the people I went with, Trevor and
shout out to Brian.
And Brian.
Brain damage Brian.
If he survived, I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
We'll do an obit search.
No. Rest in peace, sir. If you did pass away.
And rest in peace to the attendees that died.
Yeah.
And then obviously all the other horrific shit that went down there.
Yeah.
Let us learn from it.
Of course.
And never let that happen again.
Never.
I'm sure it will.
Well, we can all hope.
Yes, we shall.
And we didn't mention that lady from the Netflix doc that was trying to save the artwork to no avail.
Poor lady. I couldn't stop laughing, though. She's driving around. She's working for the concert, and she's driving around in a go-kart being like, put that down. That's a piece of art. And people are just ripping like art installations off and fucking setting it on fire.
She was trying to hold on to.
She was trying to maintain order as an old woman by herself. And that ain't happening when Kid Rock's in charge.
Yeah. And his fur coat.
Yeah.
My name is Kid.
It's some old lady.
Yeah.
Begging people to put things down and not set them on fire. She didn't stand a chance.
It's like raking sand against the tide.
Yeah.
It's like telling the Limp Bizkit crowd, hey, calm down a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like John Goodman and Steve Buscemi in The Big Lebowski. Shut the fuck up, Donnie. You're out of your element.
I think that's a good place to end it here.
Yes, it is.
Thank you. Check us out on Death and Entertainment on Instagram and YouTube as well.
Yes. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, get some notifications.
Please, please, please.
Send us an email. A lot of people have been asking for specific episodes, and we've been delivering on those. So give us ideas at deathandentertainment@gmail.com. Send us your thoughts. Give us a 5-star review on iTunes, Spotify, all that good stuff.
And as always, email any hate mail to kyleplouffe@hotmail.com.
Yeah. Appreciate that.
Yeah. So that's that, guys.
We love you.
And
Thank
until
you.
next time.
Don't go dying on us.
That's right.
Goodbye.
Woodstock 1999.
A place that manufactures nightmares.
Okay, everybody, that's a wrap.
Good night. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon.